What up? What up? What up? Are we in there? We in here. It says we're going live. We're going live. Get my water here. It says you're live. What up? What up, everybody? A2HH Live. Mike D in the spot. We got Coop right here. How you doing, sir?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. Doing well, man. It's good to be here.
It is. We have a Juneteenth block party.
Yes.
Father's Day block party. Just hotter than July and June. Mostly block party.
Everybody's
Saturday.
invited.
Yeah, everybody is invited. You need to pull up and pull on out.
Let them know where it's going to be at.
It's going to be at 1959 Metropolitan Avenue. Right now at 1959 Metropolitan Avenue, in a couple of hours at 7 o'clock, doing the free class every 7 from until, trying to get people working out, get people healthy. Same place to do the workout class in. We're going to be back in there on Saturday from 1 to 5 doing our block party. Shout out to LT. Shout out to everybody putting everything together. I did a walkthrough yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Shakita hit me up today. Everything's looking good with this space. I think everybody knows I want them to come out and how special and important it is to all of us. You and me going to be live from there. It's going to be food, beverage, good time.
Yeah.
Got a really, really dope food vendor that's going to be making some excellent things for people. And just really want everybody to come out and support and show love. I'm tired as hell from working on the event. I ain't slept.
Well, the hard work's going to pay off. Shout out to everybody over there. Shout out to Fred, the whole family.
Yeah, shout out to them. They've really been an ally. I finished up my article and photo shoot for the Voyage ATL.
All right, congratulations on that too.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it was according to Hip Hop Talk. So you're all through the interview. So it was according to Hip Hop, some of our comeuppance and all of that. So
that's what's up.
Busy but blessed. Let's get to the
bullshit.
Yeah,
speaking of bullshit, man, the Nuggets won the NBA Finals.
Ain't no bullshit.
We all kind of. It's just an indictment on the NBA as a whole, in my opinion.
Indictment on what?
You know what? The post game is a problem to me, and I told you this when Philly was playing, right, and Embiid was playing the way he was playing,
right.
Meaning shooting the ball from the perimeter. And I'm sitting there looking at Jokic, and he's pretty much out here using his size, laying on people, doing what he's supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Where you got somebody who has more size than him, more athleticism than him, possibly more skilled than him, out here trying to shoot out, like he's Steph Curry or Klay Thompson or something.
So what you're saying is that the Nuggets won because Jokic actually played like a 7-1 center?
Mm-hmm. And I don't know if we're going to if that's going to reverse the way that, people are playing basketball, and maybe that might slow down the whole small ball thing. But I don't know, man. It was one of the most boring final celebrations I think I've ever seen. And maybe it's because of the characters involved. It just didn't feel.
I think the name of the game is follow the leader, so I expect to see some changes. I do want to say a couple things, though.
Congratulations to them, by the way. I don't mean to come off as a straight-up hater, but congratulations to Denver and the Nuggets.
Definitely came off as a hater. So that was the first thing I was going to cover is actually congratulations to them for actually winning the NBA title and bringing the Nuggets their first NBA championship. It is rare that a player of this stature actually brings a team its first title. I very much liken it to the Oscar and Kareem team that bought the Milwaukee Bucks their first title. I see the 1-2 punch kind of in that manner in terms of the level of play that's being played, exhibited from both players.
Right.
And truthfully, and I told you this, Mike, well, how many games did this team lose in the postseason?
They lost one in the finals, right?
Mm-hmm.
They
didn't lose in the first round.
One in the first round. They lost 3 games?
They lost 4 games.
3 or 4 games. Wow.
No, they lost 4 games, not 3 or 4.
Dominating.
They lost 4. Mike, who beat them 2 times?
Was it who did beat them 2 times? Was
Phoenix.
Phoenix? Yeah, Phoenix was the favorite to win it all.
Hold on. Pause, Mike. They were the favorite to win it all with a team that hadn't played together at all and a star who only played 5 or 6 games.
So what are you saying? Phoenix got it next year?
Phoenix is their biggest threat that's identifiable. Phoenix has identified themselves as probably having the 1-2 combo that can score with them, outscore them. And so I'm really interested to see how Phoenix builds their roster because this team only lost 4 postseason games. Well, they lost two of them to a team that was injured, depleted because of a trade, and didn't have chemistry. If Chris Paul plays, that's a 7-game series, probably at worst case scenario for Phoenix anyway. So as far as projections for next year, I look at Phoenix and Denver. Because John Morant's probably getting suspended. LeBron's going to be a year older. KD's going to be a year older too.
You think John Morant's going to be out the whole season?
Half.
Yeah.
I want half. Salute. So, Boston need to get their shit together or get Dame. Miami need to get their shit together or get Dame. Giannis need to learn how to hit some damn free throws. That's
Miami needs somebody. And I love Jimmy, but Jimmy's a number 2 in a big time situation.
And I don't want to downgrade the Nuggets either.
Mm-hmm.
But don't you feel like if Miami had Dame, they would have won this finals?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Because Jimmy Butler becomes your second best player. And as much as I love Jimmy Butler, I think he's proven now by losing these 2 NBA finals in the fashion that he has, he's not the best player on a championship winning team.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of players...
It is what it is.
How about this? A lot of players like, I don't know, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, can't even get you there the way Jimmy can. So in my mind, his stock is elevated, but still not championship winning.
I 100% agree.
But if they get Dame, I'm picking Miami to beat everybody in the East next year, and that'll be a war between Denver and Phoenix and maybe L.A. because L.A. is going to put a roster together, those 3 teams, and we'll fight it out. But if Miami gets Dame, give me Miami because they're the organization. Like what they really proved by going to this finals, even though Golden State has won the most titles, and even though it's kind of been about where LeBron goes and where KD goes and how Steph shoots in this generation, if you actually look at Miami, like the culture that they've had in the 2000s has been pretty much from the moment they drafted Wade in 2003 to now. If you look at their 20-year run, they've actually been the best organization in basketball. They've been to 6 finals. They've only won 2, but they've been to 6 finals in the last 20 years.
It's the way they've done it. You know what I'm saying? It's like they've done it with really 3 different squads.
Right.
Yeah.
They've done it with 3 different iterations. So that would make them the most quality franchise. So give the quality franchise a real A1 top 10 player, like a real legit top 10 player like Dame. Oh, yeah.
Who don't want to go to Miami, you know? And I'm going to ask you this, and we'll move on because we got to talk about this new Killer Mike song. And Killer Mike got an album dropping Friday. No, we got to talk about it because I'm conflicted from what people are saying and from what my ears are hearing.
Ain't no confliction.
Let me ask you this, though. Do you think Denver wins another one?
You want to know what? I think this playoffs just taught us this, too. Well, they weren't just the best team in the West. They were also the healthiest team.
Yeah.
They were healthy. They've been playing together for years, but they were healthy. Look at what happened to all the other teams. Somebody either got hurt or somebody played bad that normally shouldn't play bad. But look at it. Philly, Embiid was hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Boston went Boston on us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Giannis can't hit a free throw. It's like, Denver was consistent. Denver was healthy. That's usually the team that wins.
You don't think they're going to do it again?
It's so hard. It's so health-driven.
Yeah.
Because, think about this. They might have actually missed their real chance at a dynasty when Murray tore his ACL, if you actually look at it, because it's like, well, if he doesn't tear his ACL, who were they last year? Because I'll tell you what, if they played like this last year, they would have beat Golden State or Boston.
Fair point. All right. Well, super chat over here from Shyster30 says, blessings, fellas. Catching y'all live in a while. Haven't caught y'all live in a while due to my job and time differences. But keep up the good work. For sure. Appreciate that.
Click like and subscribe to the page, too, guys. We just hit 12,000 subscribers.
Yeah, appreciate y'all.
I want to turn that 12 and multiply it tenfold and make it 120.
Well, you know what? Let me I want to actually get the details on this record because this is what really makes
Didn't Andre produce the record?
A lot of people produced the record. That's why
it's very problematic.
Yeah, that's why I want to get to this real quick.
Do typical rap records have this many producers on it?
It's definitely not a typical rap record. Let me see. All right, here it is.
Oh, real quick, while you're pulling it up. So, maybe we'll have this conversation after we talk about this song. But, Mike, I've been playing Ain't No Thing lately. Off Southern Playalistic, Ain't No Thing. Mike, how that hook go? Ain't
Sounds
no thing
like Big Boy.
But a chicken wing.
We having a smoke out in the dungeon with the Mary Jane.
It's just the pimps, players, Mac Daddies, East Point. It's all about that cess in your chest. It's the joint. Now, do that sound like Andre?
No, it sounds like Big Boy.
I'm just going to keep on doing this until people understand what it is that I'm saying, Mike, because when I be hearing these hooks, I be like, well, one guy is really, 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 really great hook right now.
I mean, Big Boy kind of carried Outkast when it comes to the hook game and all that.
Isn't hooks how you get fans and usually get sales in hip-hop?
Well, yeah. I mean, you know how I believe. I believe that the hit singles or the songs
all these
sell
stellar
the albums
bars that we're talking about, don't they usually come with these stellar hooks that we're talking about? Who doing these stellar hooks again?
I've been listening to Big Boy solo catalog. Extremely overlooked. All right, but this is what it is, man.
Run it.
Killer Mike just released his single. I guess it's his single. It's the only song that's out for his album, Michael, that's coming out Friday. It's called Scientists and Engineers, featuring Andre 3000, Future, and Aaron Allen Kane. Now get this. The song is produced by Andre 3000, James Blake, No ID, DJ Paul, and TY Exclusive.
Okay.
And they got a whole bunch of credits and stuff and all that.
Okay. So what do you think of the production, Mike?
Listen, man, I just think, well,
I think everybody fired Mike except DJ Paul. And that's just
I don't know what
DJ Paul.
Well, you know what? This is the thing.
And he didn't take his hands off that. Did they take some of his scratches or some of his drums? Did they take a sample? No DJ Paul.
I don't know who did what.
Everybody
I'm
else
confused.
everybody else
I don't
needs
know.
to stop.
Mad Back to the Super Chat says Miami needs to steal Kyrie in the
We're
free
going to talk
agency
about Kyrie.
over Dame and send Philly Bam.
First
and
of all,
whoever gets Embiid.
First of all, Mad Max.
Nah, man, Embiid ain't going nowhere.
Don't nobody want Kyrie over Dame. They got a brain. I'm sorry.
Well, at this juncture, you can't. You know what I mean?
Mike, there was never
thing.
there was never a junction.
No, I feel you. I mean, I'm a Dame guy, so.
But there was never a junction.
Let's talk about this song. Right?
Never.
Okay, from the production side, you know what? I want to start with the elephant in the room. I know everybody wants to talk about Andre 3000 and his verse. I didn't think the verse was that good. I know people in our comments or in our community section, we posted the song and asked if people had heard it. People were saying things like, you know, Dre killed it. Dre did this and that. And I don't know. I guess I just don't hear it. Maybe I hold Dre to a different standard.
What he killed?
I don't know, man. I mean, I hate to say this about one of my favorite rappers ever. My favorite rapper growing up.
I don't think you do.
But it feels like he has started relying on Eminem type tricks where it's like you're saying a bunch of stuff that sounds good, but what exactly is being said? You know what I mean? And it's kind of relying on the rhyme schemes and flows from an individual that we know as relying on his lyricism. I just went to bat for him on our show Monday, against Lauryn Hill.
How you feel today?
I mean, he's definitely not exhibiting lyricism on this piece. I feel like they're forcing this man to rap.
So the Lauryn verse last year, this verse for this year for my
definitely the Lauryn verse last year.
Okay.
Okay. I think all in all, and we talked about the whole notion of a traditional rap record. We put the song on in the studio, and everybody was kind of like tuning out and zoning out because it doesn't even sound like a song. Like songs kind of hook you and bring you in. It sounds like just
what is this?
I don't really
what is it?
know, and it doesn't feel progressive in that way either.
No, what is it? Like that's what I'm saying. Like so, it doesn't sound like today. I don't mean that in a good way. Remember, I was like, yeah, when they make this, what year they think this is?
Yeah.
Like this sounds like a track that wouldn't have made Stank on You. You know what I'm saying?
That's sounds like some Idlewild shit.
We try not to act, Mike.
I'm just keeping it real.
No, Mike. We don't talk about Idlewild down here in Atlanta.
Yeah, we're not gonna act like it doesn't exist.
No, yes we are. We're gonna let everybody else act like Idlewild exists. Down here in Atlanta, we just act like they never made that. No, some of the stuff on Idlewild was funkier than this. The production's just not there, Mike. So the first thing that we need to address before we address maybe Andre, and I get it because he's always the star and it's always the Andre verse and that's the thing.
Right.
But the song ain't no good. So we need the song need to be good first, Mike. You know what I'm saying? We really can't get to his verse and talk about his verse when the song's not really set up for success for anybody. But I think that's about trying to appease him.
It is.
And
it's exactly what it is.
Now, here's what I'll tell you is that I've told you what makes him such a great lyricist is actually he puts simple words together maybe better than any other MC who's lived. But, Mike, when he doesn't hit on it, he doesn't hit on it. The flow pattern on here is consistent, which is strange for him. Like, he usually doesn't give you a consistent flow pattern and back and forth or something that you can catch. That's part of what makes him great is he usually does things that you can't catch. The second part about it is that he does the simple, stupid, and placement of it together well. But if the content's not there,
the content's lacking,
then it doesn't sound as good. I'll give you an example.
What is this song about?
Right. So do you remember You know what this reminds me of, but not as good in terms of what he tried to do, but he didn't do as well?
What's that?
The Millionaire record with Khalees.
Yeah.
Where he's like, where there are cheese, there are cats. Wherever there are cats, there are rats. Wherever there are rats, there are dogs. If you got the dogs, you got bitches. Bitches always out to put their paws on your riches. He was trying to do that with this record, but he didn't have the content intact. And the flow wasn't as agile. And those are the two things that make him shine. So he's missing the two things that make him shine on the record. And the beat just ain't that good. The production ain't good. The song not good.
Well, you know who's there on the production too?
Song not good.
No ID.
The song just not good.
Mad Max with the super chat
Future
says,
did his thing. Killer Mike's verse is dope.
Killer Mike's verse is dope.
But the song ain't
But
no
again,
good.
people trying to appease him.
The song ain't no good.
I'm going to get to that in a second. Mad Max with the super chat says, taking Kyrie over Dame. I watched Drew Holiday destroy Dame. Watch Dame with a healthy roster lose to Denver team with no backcourt. Kyrie is definitely better than Dame.
With what? So Dame has led a team to the Western Conference Finals as the #1 player. When has Kyrie ever done that? As a matter of fact, team make the conference finals when Kyrie get hurt. As a matter of fact. And just so we're clear, Mad Max, I'm very, very clear that 73-9 season the Golden State had, yeah, Dame busted that ass twice and busted Steph up for 54 one night. Something lovely in a manner I ain't never seen Kyrie do. And that was MVP Steph. He did that too. Like I said, it's always been Dame.
You know what? I got to run and get my mouse, man, because I'm not catching all of these super chats. So I don't want to. You got them right now? Yeah, get those real quick and let me grab my mouse real quick.
Problematic. DJ Bruce Almighty said, it's not his first or only single. Killer Mike has released 3 or 4 singles already. This is close to the worst. Also, Future isn't off the hook. I mean, I don't care if it's his first single or his 70th single. The song ain't no damn good, so it really don't matter how he release it or when he release it. It's like it's not worthy. It's not quality. Like there's nothing about this song. Oh, you back? Mike, there's nothing about this song that says to me I should be excited about going to grab Killer Mike's album. You know what I'm saying? Well, like he's not helping himself in this regard because it's like
what excites me about it is the fact that I hope that the rest of the album doesn't sound like this. And I think him even saying that about the whole typical rap song thing makes me feel like the rest of this album isn't going to sound like this.
Yeah. We got Andrew Williams. Shout out Andrew. I'm pretty sure there's a Miami coming in here. As a Heat fan, see?
Right.
Here we go. I definitely want Dame over Kyrie for sure. To me, he's better and won't leave the team without telling them during the season and in scene. We're going to talk about Kyrie later because Ransom talked about Kyrie on his album, which we're going to cover. You know what? I'm going to share some things that a dear friend from mine that I went to college with in Greensboro, Trio, shared with me about Kyrie, which has kind of got me to back up off some of my Kyrie stance, but we're kind of going to unpack it because Ransom chose to unpack it. And it was a fascinating record and a dope record.
Oh, very dope record.
Very dope.
I think the second verse was about what's his name? The relationship consultant that passed not too long ago.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah. Andrew Williams with the super chat says, if my Heat boys got Dame, it's over. The NBA barely can stop us with undrafted players. If we get Dame or even Bradley Beal, everybody's in trouble. We will win if that happens. I can see that.
Bradley Beal and Jimmy Butler, I don't know, because then you have 2 1Bs in my opinion. Like neither one of those guys are the best player on a championship team to me. So Bradley Beal puts you back in the same position but makes it a 7-game series maybe.
Right.
Dame.
Mad Max of the super chat says, we're talking about the same Dame who was hyped when KD got hurt, saying that we're going to see how good Steph is, and Steph swept him.
Yeah.
Dame had a lead all 4 quarters. Horrible. Shot horribly.
But the difference, what Mad Max keeps forgetting, is that I keep asking him when Kyrie's even done the things that Dame has done. Dame has made first team All NBA before. Kyrie, never. Dame has literally hit game-winning shots to end series multiple times. Kyrie has done it 1 time. You feel what I'm saying? Now, the shot he hit was big. Let's not get it twisted. But Dame has done that multiple times in the playoffs. Dame has a higher career scoring average. Dame has a higher career assist average. Dame literally has taken a team further. There is by no metric.
Dame's going to be on the
or
court
by no
too.
Measure. It's by no metric and no measure is Kyrie better unless you were literally just walking out onto the court and having an eye test.
Right.
Well, Mike, when it comes to that eye test, he better than everybody at the eye test.
Yeah.
If you were to watch Kyrie warm up, dribble, shoot, get in his bag, and go to the hole, Mike, you'd say that's the best player in basketball. But the reality of the matter,
moves.
is Mike, that he's barely been a top 10 player in his prime. So next,
I want to go to some of these comments that people left on the actual song. So I'm not tripping, right? So we posted the song here on the community section of our YouTube channel. So many of you who might be in the room are some of the people who commented.
So now you're making the fans suffer, Mike.
No, they're saying dope song. Everybody killed it. Somebody else said this joint is strangely good, damn good. What are people hearing? And then Ashley says Andre showed up to work. Flow is crazy. Production is hard. Uncle Fram even said it's a dope song. Do we give Dre passes or something? Because this song's not good. I'm sorry, man. And you know what? And after reading you guys' comments and stuff, I went back and tried to listen to this song and find something redeeming from it. I was like, well, maybe I'm tripping. I don't want to get on this microphone and come across as a straight-up hater. Y'all are looking for any reason to down Andre or whatever. So I literally listened to this song 5 or 6 times. I listened to it with the team in here.
I'm sorry you had to go through that.
Yeah, I listened to it with the team in here, and everybody's feeling the same way.
You listened 5 or 6 times?
It's not
My
good.
patience ain't built like that today.
I think that, for all of the people that are on the production bill, the production's underwhelming. Andre's verse is underwhelming. Future did what he normally does.
Future's dope.
And Killer Mike went out there and spit the best verse that he could.
The bar work is
under the circumstances that he was under. Clearly, he didn't want to rap to this track. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And they were forced to actually go out there and put this track together once again to appease, the MC that doesn't want to make a traditional rap record.
So let's say if you're appeasing the guy that doesn't want to make the traditional rap record, and people keep saying that this guy is so great all time, well, due to the lack of work, as in his well should be deeper and it should be fresher than a Black Thought or a Nas, who are his contemporaries in terms around the time that they released material for the first time. Well, that's why I'm saying it's like, well, I'm not interested in this trick anymore, because this trick hadn't sounded as good as people trying to make it seem like in a long time anyway, Mike. I told you it was only the content of the Donda verse that really carried the verse. I keep trying to tell people, it's like it's really been a long time since he had that Wow Andre verse. Even with that, Mike, it's been a minute.
It has.
I'm just being honest about it.
That's just the real
and that's not to say that he's not good. That's not to say that he's not great. But for who he is, this apparently is the space in the lane that he's chosen. Oh, so it need to be a 10, and it's about a 6.
He doesn't rap all the time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think this is the thing, too, that people don't want to get through their head. This guy's clearly out of practice, right? He rarely raps. He's out playing the flute, whatever. He's not writing rhymes. Sleepy Brown TMZ ran up on Sleepy Brown yesterday or day before yesterday and asked him about, Outkast stuff. Sleepy Brown himself said Outkast is done. And the reason he gave for it is because Andre is on a journey doing something else. This man is not trying to rap, and I hate the fact that people keep pulling him in to try to get him to make these subpar records. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because you want to see Andre as a feature on your record, he's done. He doesn't want to rap anymore. It is, and it sounds like it. It does.
But what if I told you it's always been this way for like the last 20 years?
It's been this way for a long time.
He was just more of in his artistic prime, his creative prime, and he could fake it a little bit better. And also, too, Mike, financially, not quite maybe in a place, or might get to a place where it's like, oh, well, let me do this record to replace what the last, year or two of me not working. People still have bills to pay. And Obi was petty. Obi sent me Instagram. He jumped in my DM and he sent me a very brief video of Andre playing the flute somewhere, and he didn't say anything on it. That's Obi's way of saying let that man live his life. But
he could do that.
But it's not me that's stopping him from living his life. It's everybody else running around talking about he one of the greatest MCs of all time, and like he's got some sort of stellar catalog that's not letting him live. I am letting him live.
I'm all for him living his life, but I'm also going to be honest when he does get on the mic and sounds subpar.
I'll be going through these Outkast hooks and listening to Big Boy's verses, and I'm like, are we sure we have the right guy from Outkast in our top 20 MC all-time list?
I think I told you offline, and again, this is from somebody who I know damn near every Andre verse back and forth. Outkast, verses, period, songs, whatever.
Right.
I've come to the conclusion that if we're going to be fair, We're going to talk about catalog. We're going to talk about skill set. We're going to talk about legacy and all of those things. I think the best 2 rappers to ever come out of this city, you know what, my top 3, I'm going to just say T.I.'s 1, Big Boy's 2, and Andre's 3.
Yes, because this isn't a talent contest.
Mm-hmm.
This is a performance.
Yeah.
It's a performance-driven business, is it right? Is it not?
There's a lot. I mean, shit, T-Mac was more talented than a lot of motherfuckers.
I mean, you could argue T-Mac is just as talented as Kobe.
Yeah.
But he's not Kobe.
I've said that, but he's not
Kobe.
Exactly.
He had seasons like Kobe.
Yeah. If you look at him on paper,
like Kobe.
You want to look at talent or whatever, or what you could be.
Technically a more fundamental pure jump shooter and free throw shooter than Kobe.
More size, everything.
His game was a little silkier than Kobe's too. Kobe's was a lot of like hard pivot, stop, fundamental drop step. T-Mac stuff was natural. It's almost like T-Mac didn't need to practice.
Natural talent.
Yeah, so.
Andrew Williams with the Super Chat
says. Couple scoring titles too.
He said, I would also like us to also get Brook Lopez for size if we can. He would be perfect for us. He's 7 feet. He can rebound, block shots, and shoot the 3-ball. I think a lot of people are going to make big man adjustments in the offseason.
How about this? The teams that have big men are at an advantage right now, specifically Philadelphia and L.A.
Mm-hmm.
And I say this like as nice as I can. They need to tell their big men, Embiid and Anthony Davis, they actually need to like kind of embarrass them a little bit.
Anthony Davis ain't a big man.
Yes, he is.
He don't want to be. He want to play powerful.
No.
He don't want to bang.
He blocked too many shots.
Yeah.
He's a big man.
He don't want to bang, though.
It's a big man.
Joke want to bang.
Well, this is what I'm about to say. If I were the Lakers in Philly, I would be showing them tapes of Jokic playing in the paint. And then I just look at them. I wouldn't even say nothing. I would just look at them.
Yeah.
Like you're a grown-ass man.
Yeah.
Technically, both of y'all are actually a little bit bigger than him.
Especially Embiid.
Don't make no damn sense.
Now, Embiid has the size whereas, Anthony Davis,
ain't nobody trying
he's
to
not as big as Jokic. But I will give Anthony Davis
No, they about the same size.
Anthony Davis tried to go head up with him. I will give him that.
He lost.
He did.
He lost.
Mad Max to the Super Chat says, Dame hit a game winner in the first round series. Kyrie hit a huge shot in the finals. Like, what are we saying?
No.
Dame was begging to make the All-Star team.
No. Mad Max. I'm going to say this again. These are facts. Dame has made first team All-NBA. Kyrie, no. Dame has been to a conference finals and led a team to a conference final as the best player. Kyrie, no. Do you understand that? Dame has won multiple playoff series on game-winning shots. Kyrie, no. This conversation, no.
Homeboy Blaze with the Super Chat says, it sounds like they tried to make a Run the Jewels record without LP. I can see that.
The Run the Jewels production be better than this.
Way better. And I'm not even a Run the Jewels fan like that.
Neither am I. Like they could have used a little ooh la la.
Yeah, the drums weren't there.
Drums wasn't drumming.
And I'm like, did DJ Paul do the drum? I couldn't have done that. Couldn't have done that. What? Yeah, answer me that.
We want to know what
if
DJ
Killer
Paul
Mike is watching this or Paul's watching this, I want to know what part of this Killer Mike did.
It's very problematic.
Not Killer Mike, DJ Paul did.
Very problematic they threw Paul on this record. Yeah, I see no traces to DJ Paul.
Because that's what kind of got me slightly excited. When I saw Paul's name on the production, I'm like, okay.
So you want to know what that makes me think of right quick? And this is a quick sidebar. When I was doing the Voyage ATL interview, I was talking about when we first met. Do you know when we actually first met? Like we worked together, but do you know when we first met?
It had to be at work, right?
No,
or was it the party?
It was at your 21st birthday party.
Okay, yeah.
Because I knew you, but I didn't know who you were. I don't think you remember. I trained you and Christy and Ryan and all of y'all.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't know who you were.
Right.
You just came through the training class. And so when Holla was like, I want to perform this song at Mike's birthday party, that's when I met you and I brought it up in the article. But the reason why is that the song that Holla did was a Project Pat sample.
Hey.
From fucking DJ Paul's beats.
Yeah, man. So it all comes full circle. DJ Paul, man. Mad Max to the Super Chat says, go ask Steph and Clay who they rather see on their team. I promise you they would rather see Dame.
I'm telling you. Like Kyrie don't strike no fear into people like Dame. I'm sorry, like I don't know what fam I'm talking about. Like go ask NBA players. Like I don't think people understand when it comes to like taking the last shot, Dame gets mentioned with Durant
as he should
and fucking Curry.
As he should.
Kyrie ain't in that conversation, Mike.
He's not.
He ain't never been in that conversation.
Because Kyrie hasn't been in those big games without LeBron or somebody like that with him.
How often has he? How long has he been the man? So he had KD for. and he had LeBron, and in between he did what? Nothing.
Right.
Nothing.
Mad Max with another super chat says, and to say, Dame led the team here and this and that, it's like saying that you're going to take AI over Kobe before 08 because Kobe never led a team deep. Like
Kobe and AI were interchangeable at one point, and everybody who played basketball and covered basketball used to say so.
They were.
Yeah.
DJ Bruce Almighty with the super chat says, I remember some dudes laughing at me because I said that Jay was lyrically better than Andre. Who y'all got? Also, Kyrie is better, but Dame is available. Jay-Z's a better lyricist than Andre.
Y'all got to stop this whole Kyrie better when y'all don't have any evidence. I'm sorry.
Jay-Z's a better lyricist than Andre.
Well, we have
3000.
evidence of that. We have a typical rap
Streets
song
is
called
watching.
Presidents.
Yeah, Streets is watching.
Yeah. But
he can't do that. He hasn't proven that he could do something like that.
Got to stop this Kyrie thing. This is not a fucking.
People got to stop this Andre thing.
This is. It's not. Mike, this ain't Mike. This is the NBA. This ain't no damn and one mixtape. I don't care what his bag look like. I care what his numbers look like. Here's the fact of the matter: when he didn't have LeBron or KD with this whole bag, why he ain't make all NBA first team with that bag? When he didn't have either one of them, if he's that great, because in his prime, even by himself, he not Steph, he not Dame. He not even Harden or Westbrook for a season.
That's real.
Those guys have all made first team All NBA.
That's real.
They all play in the same era. You want to know why he don't make first team All NBA? Because they all make it in front of him. Because they're better than him.
I usually don't agree with you on that stuff with Kyrie because I like Kyrie, but that's the reality.
It's the best point guard generation we've ever seen.
Yeah.
But he ain't high up on the list like y'all saying. He don't got no hardware to show for it. This says he's that dude. He didn't have an MVP. When has he ever even finished top 10 for the MVP, Mike?
No, it's real. I mean, that's fair. Andrew Williams with the super chat says, the best ability is availability at the end of the day in sports. I don't know why everybody act like that doesn't matter. Dame over Kyrie. Yeah. DJ Bruce Almighty said, also, Killer Mike, talk your shit. CJ Kidd with the super chat says, Coop, someone said that a prime Larry Holmes will be able to beat a prime George Foreman. What's your take or analysis on that? I say no to that, but
I mean, we only saw one person beat a prime George Foreman.
Yeah, and that was Ali,
the greatest fighter who ever lived.
And that's what it took.
Yeah, it literally took.
It took that guy.
No. It took the guy that not only was probably the most skilled and fundamentally sound, but also the most intelligent to beat him.
And it took him to take him outside an African heat to do it.
And it took him it took him deploying a whole strategy.
Yeah.
That literally took years off of his career.
Yeah.
Like that beating from George Foreman and the beatings from Frazier is what ended Ali.
Yeah, Foreman was a problem, man.
Like, have you seen that fight, how Foreman is just pounding into Ali's flesh?
Yeah.
With Mike, you're watching his body's moving when Foreman's hitting him, and I'm like, oh my God, it's like he's going to break this dude's ribs.
Foreman's one of the best fighters I've ever seen, to be perfectly honest.
Mad Max. How about this? He beat Mike Tyson's ass.
Of course he would.
In his prime.
Yeah.
Lennox Lewis wouldn't whoop neither one of their ass. That's why I'm saying, no, George Foreman whooped Mike Tyson ass in his prime. Lennox Lewis don't stand no damn chance against no Mike Tyson.
I mean, what we saw him do to Frazier is probably similar to what would happen to Tyson.
He fucked Frazier up real bad.
And Frazier was great. Frazier was no bum.
How about this? Frazier's one fight away from being considered the greatest fighter ever. I mean,
for real. You're right. Mad Max with the super chat says, Dame is a big fish, pause, in a small pond. Put him on a team with real expectations and watch him fold.
Kyrie is a co-star.
Kid is not a winner at all. You know what? This is what
Kyrie a co-star, y'all. I'm sorry. He's Scotty. He's not Mike. Stop talking about this dude like he's Mike.
This is what I will give Mad Max, though. He does have the proof that Kyrie has shown up in a big-time situation. That 3-1 lead the Golden State had. He outplayed Steph. We don't have any sample size of Dame going to the Western Conference Finals and beyond. We don't.
Let me ask you something, Mike.
Sure.
What do you think happens if you sub out Dame Lillard and Kyrie Irving with that version of LeBron James?
I think that the same thing happens. If not, it might be easier for Cleveland.
Let me submit something to you. There ain't going to be no damn game-winning shot if Dame's with LeBron.
Yeah, I'm with you.
That shit going to be over already.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Ain't gonna be no game-winning shot.
We never seen.
Ain't gonna be no
3-1.
Ain't gonna be no 3-1. Ain't gonna be no 3-1.
Nah, I don't think it'd be a 3-1.
Ain't gonna be no 3-1. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Not with no prime LeBron. Ain't gonna be no 3-1.
They got engaged. Mad Max with the super chat says, we talking about numbers. Kyrie is efficient. Dame never shot 50% in his career. 43% shooter from the floor. Kyrie is a 50, 40, 90 season. Dame could never. And he finished top 10 for MVP in 2018.
Hey, when did
Shout out to Mad Max with the stats, man.
Hold on, Mad Max. Did Kyrie do that when he played with Kevin Durant, I believe? Right.
Andrew Williams.
When he played with LeBron James, I believe. Has the man, he'll never shoot 50%. He'll never go 50, 40, 90 if he's the main option on the team. Never.
Andrew Williams with the super chat says, if Kyrie wasn't on the 2016 Cavs team with LeBron as the best player, by the way, would y'all even in the chat still view Kyrie the same? Like, let's be real.
They talking like he was the man on that team like LeBron's not there. You know, the second greatest player of all time, who some people think is the greatest player of all time. He's playing with somebody who's in a conversation for the greatest player of all time. People talking about what Kyrie did.
LeBron could easily be the greatest player of all time.
He played with LeBron.
Yeah. LeBron dominated the league in his tenure. But what do you think about this album, this Killer Mike album that's coming Friday?
I don't now because of this song. So that's where we at with it.
All right. Like I said, man, I just I don't know, man. I'm trying to find what everybody else hears in it. I think that you guys are just giving Andre more points than necessary. Let the man retire gracefully. Let him just chill out and do whatever he wants to do. He's not a top 10 all time. He just hasn't done what's necessary to be that. And I think people don't want to let go of that notion that he's one of the all-time greats, and he's just not. I love him. I love Cass. Cass is one of the all-time greats, but him as an individual, he was a great member in the group. But, I mean, as we're seeing here, that's where it kind of ends.
You could argue that in the group setting, he might be the greatest group member as far as of a talent or display of showmanship on the mic in a group effort and setting.
Yeah.
So if you want to talk about, like, MVP in a group setting, like, oh, yeah. Like, I could see that for him.
Easy.
But all of this other stuff need to talk.
Yeah. But
all this other talk need to stop. Excuse me.
No, it's all good. I just think that I don't know. It's kind of disheartening because that was very disappointing hearing that, because I saw the personnel first, and then I heard the song, and then we heard the talk about not making a typical rap song, and I think
could have used a typical rap song.
I hate to say this, man, but it seems like one of my favorite rappers ever is now hiding behind the mystique and trickery of not making a typical rap song to hide from the fact that his lyrical skills have diminished. Because you can't hide on some beats and rhymes shit. Now, if you want to go on some intricate, production and these stanzas and boom, you can hide behind the structure of a record. But if it's just, beats and rhymes, you can't hide.
Mike, we have to understand that this guy just doesn't perform regularly.
Yeah, he doesn't.
And it's just all skewed. It's all skewed. It's all misconstrued. And this is what I mean. Sometimes a genius in his craft is only a genius until they're not. And this is what I'm saying. Sometimes you can outthink yourself out of your genius. Because the reality of the matter is that Killer Mike ain't released a solo album in a while.
True.
You got a song with Future. You got a song with Andre. Stop overthinking this shit and call Metro.
Well, stop letting Andre dictate the terms, too.
It's like,
it's like look,
no, this is what we doing.
This is what we doing. And if you don't want to be on it,
that's
then fuck
cool.
it. You know what I mean? Because the song suffered for the fact that they tried to appease him.
Right, because it's like, no, I'm cool with Future and Killer Mike and Metro. And if Dre don't want to rap on that typical Metro beat, that's all right.
Right.
It seemed like everybody else do.
Exactly.
Like literally everybody.
Well, you brought up something when we were off.
Everybody from 21 to Nas wants to rap over a Metro beat.
You brought up something, right, when we were before we got on air, and you were talking about Organized possibly didn't produce Outkast enough, and Outkast may have suffered from producing their own stuff. Now, I don't agree with that totally, because I think they did what they had to do. I think that Goody was too Organized dependent. But I do agree with this one thing you said. Outkast didn't show that they could rhyme on outside production at any point in their career. And I think, long term, that kind of does hurt you because now someone could say about Andre what I say about Eminem. Well, he rhymes over his own stuff. He ain't never rhymed over a Premier track either. You know what I mean? Like the lack of versatility, especially if you want to compare somebody like Jay, right? Jay has rhymed over everybody from Premier to Ski to Just to Ye to Pharrell to Tim. We can't say that about Dre.
So, Mike, here's the thing. And this is what I was really trying to say. And I'm not trying to take away from the catalog. I think you know how I feel about the catalog. So do people who follow the show. When did Dre and Big Boy sound most comparable in terms of the level that they operated on? Because for me, that's the first album.
I would say Southern Playalistic.
Do you want to know what
close ATLians behind?
But this is what I'm saying, Mike. Do you want to know why that is? Because of the balance that Organized provided. Yeah. As in, them tracks ain't just for Dre. They for Andre and Big Boy to get off on. Big Boy's getting off just as well as Dre on Southern Playalistic. And if you go look at every album after Southern Playalistic, it skews more towards Andre's creative nuances.
So you're saying Big Boy possibly suffered from Organized taking a step back production-wise.
Now, how does he sound when he does outside rap stuff like All in My Grill or the
Sounds
I'm
perfect.
So Hood remix?
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Dro in the wind.
Dro in the wind. So go look at the records again.
Street talking.
Street talking. Go
You know
look
who
at.
produced that? Jazzy Faye.
Ooh, interesting. I can see that.
Yeah.
Go look at how Big Boy sounds on the more, I don't even know how to say it, but boom bap driven records.
Hip hop records. It's cool.
Elevators.
To be a hip hop record.
Elevators.
Yeah.
Like Elevators. Yeah.
Yeah.
He sounds.
It's okay to make a hip hop record, Dre. It really is.
It's okay, Mike. When I was riding the Ain't No Thing, I'm like, man, it's like y'all got this, Benz or Beamer, Spaghetti Junction, Two Dope Boys. You know what I mean? It's like y'all don't have a lot of records like this.
You brought up Spaghetti Junction, and another Organized produced record on Stankonia. And with it being on an album that's as eclectic as Stankonia, for me, Spaghetti Junction was refreshing. Because, you know, I like rap shit too.
Like how
and, you
about
know,
this?
I know they wanted to take it far out, but you don't have to lose everybody. Sometimes, you know, taking it far out is getting back to the basics to a degree.
I was about to say, why ain't Andre on West Savannah?
Yeah. It's a typical rap record.
That's why.
So he's hiding behind these,
But are you
tricks.
listening to the records that I'm naming?
Yeah.
Those are the records that you would play if you were to actually put them up against their contemporaries. You wouldn't be. How about this? Skewing on the Barbie as much as I love it, Rosa Parks as much as I love it, that ain't beating nobody, Mike. Oh, Elevators is.
Yeah.
Benz or Beamer is. Two Dope Boys is. Ain't No Thing is.
Yeah.
You know what made me pull up Ain't No Thing? They were talking about it, that record, even when they were reviewing the album, and like how cool in Atlanta the record was.
Yeah.
For people outside of Atlanta, when they heard that record, I didn't realize it. We're from here. It's like, oh yeah, that's how we talk down here.
Yeah.
Other people didn't know. They stopped making records that identified themselves to Atlanta. I think that's Dre.
And
because we see Big Boy do it all the time, consistently, literally, to this day.
You know, I remember when T.I. first came out, right? And this was probably I'm Serious, or in between I'm Serious and trap music. Me as an Outkast fan, I was somewhat taking some of the stuff that he was saying offensively, but he was right. He was saying that, you know, Outkast is Outkast, they're great, and they taking things out of space and all that. But I'm speaking for the niggas in the streets. You know what I'm saying? And he's right, because you can take things so far where, you know, it's great for you and it's great for music, but it's away from the hip-hop aesthetic. And like you said, some of those records, they don't beat anybody in a hip-hop matchup. And it's not about beating anybody per
Yes,
se.
it is.
But the thing
Yes, it is.
I think the problem here is Dre gives the notion that hip-hop records are lesser than, and that's not the case.
I ain't showing up to have fun and shake nobody's hand at the end.
Mad Max with the super chat says Dame with Bron loses to the Warriors because all Dame does is try to outdo Steph.
This is that New York bias, because you know where Kyrie from.
Right.
Up the turnpike.
At Steph's game. Dame's just chucked from half court. Just chucks it up from half court. Kyrie was breaking Clay down, finished in the paint. if Dame is off your team.
Go check the numbers, guys, and go check the resume.
I think,
just stop that.
Hold on.
How about this? When Kyrie was the man of a team, that team ended up with the number 1 draft pick back-to-back years.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
That's just factual information.
Just factual information.
And I love Kyrie, actually.
I love Kyrie, too. People just think that I don't, but it's like I'm not about to lie for him because of his bag. I want results.
And Andrew Williams with the Super Chat says, I didn't know top 10 in MVP votes was so great. D-Wade was top 3 in MVP with LeBron and Kobe. So we not about to act like top 10 in MVP. It's great.
Like, this is what I mean. Somebody like Kevin Garnett was like literally walking around finishing in the top 5 MVP every year when Shaq was in his prime, Kobe was in his prime, Tim Duncan was in his prime, Allen Iverson was in his prime. You get what I'm saying? McGrady was in his prime. He was top 5 MVP every year. It's like, no, Kyrie's not that type of player. He's not that level of player. So understand this. He's not even a Kevin Garnett all-time level of player. Stop
Kevin
talking
Garnett
about
was great.
All-time great.
Yeah, all-time great.
Kyrie not that. That's what I'm saying. He's not even Westbrook or Harden. Listen to me. He's not even Westbrook or Harden. These are scoring champions and MVPs that we're talking about.
Yeah, you're right.
These are scoring champions and MVPs that we're talking about. Yeah. They're MVPs, Mike. James Harden's an MVP.
He is.
James Harden came in second place 3 straight years and then won.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Peter Parks with the Super Chat says, Andre and Kendrick both try to hide behind mystery. They are a perfect example of people buying into the personality instead of just taking the music for what it is. That's the only thing I can deduce too, man. I mean, I love Dre too, but I also want to hear him do his best and at the top of his game. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to sit here in front and say, oh, this is great. This is a verse of the year contender. Because the truth of the matter is, and for the people in the chat who do like the song, will you admit that Killer Mike's verse is much better than his? Because it is. That's the one thing I haven't heard people say is like, damn, Killer killed him on this. Because he did.
I think we should switch topics.
All right. Well, Sleepy Brown did also say that Kumina is Outkast's best album, so I'm with that.
Might be the best, but Southern Playalistic still plays the best, Mike. There's something about riding around the city to that album that still is very, very Atlanta in the way the other albums don't. And I mean that in a way has like a slight to their catalog. It's like, no, you from here. It's like we need shit that sounds like you're from here.
I think it's the best produced album in their catalog. It's between that and the Kumina. I'm a bigger Kumina fan, obviously, but
I love the way they put Southern Playlists together, like the Crumbling Herb Hootie Hoo transition. Like when people talk about that Dr. Dre transition from the day the niggas took over to Nothing But a G thing.
Right.
It's like they're doing the same thing with Crumbling Herb into Hootie Hoo, where they break down all the drums and then they break it all the way down and then pick it back up. Oh, that's some of the best production you'll find. Period.
This is the debate I always have with people. Southern Playalistic is clearly better than ATLians to me, but people will argue you down. The ATLians is the better album. It's not. And I love ATLians. I put their albums in this order. It's Kumina, Southern Playalistic, ATLians, Stankonia, then Speakerbox Love Below.
I'm sorry. It's just the second half of ATLians, all due respect to it and its greatness. It's not the second half like Southern Playalistic is. The second half of Southern Playalistic is literally Funky Ride, Get Up, Get Out, Crumbling Herb, Hootie Hoo, Deep.
Yeah. It's just better.
It's just better. It's just better. No, the songs are better, Mike. Like there's not one record on the back end of ATLians that's as good as Get Up or Get Out or Crumbling Herb.
Straight up,
not one.
I mean, really, listen to like Get Up, Get Out, and then listen to ATLians. Like,
how about this?
It's somewhere else. That would be the best song on ATLians, in my opinion.
Second best after Elevators.
I'm okay with that, but now that I think about it, if I listen to those songs back to back, I'm not so sure.
Like,
Elevators is that much better.
Let's look at it like this: Mainstream and Decatur Psalm might be better than Call It a While, but neither one of them is anywhere close to Get Up, Get Out as far as like posse cut records.
I mean, look, which hook do you think is better, Elevators or Get Up, Get Out?
Elevators.
Okay.
I think Elevators is one of the greatest hooks of all time.
You need to get up, get out, and get some. Don't let the days of your life pass.
I mean, it's a nice little after-school special message. I like that.
What's the better beat?
That, too, is Elevators. That's why it's the better record.
I think that's definitely.
See, I'm not saying it would be the second best song on ATLians after Elevators, but Elevators is still the better beat. Damn, it seems crazy to say it. It still might be the better mic performance, too.
Do you
I'll give Get Up and Get Out. I give Get Up, Get Out the mic performance overall. No, because
you got Gip in there.
All four of the verses are
high level, and I think CeeLo's verse is slightly better than Dre's Elevator verse.
Yeah.
I think it is.
That might be CeeLo's best verse, though.
It's one of them.
It's not his most lyrical.
Yeah, it's one of them.
But best.
Great verse. I disagree with you on the beat, though. I think the Get Up, Get Out's beat's better. Something about the way those drums
niggas was doing talent shows in Charlotte to the Elevators instrumental. I remember it was like pretty serious.
Yeah, the Elevators beat is great. I'm not down on that. I'm just bigging up how dope.
You want to know what? How about this?
Get Out beat is.
You want to know what it is about Elevators? There's something about Elevators that feels very, very hip hop, but still very Southern. And those are the records they don't make. Elevators, Ain't No Thing, Southern Playalistic, Two Dope Boys. Those are records that feel like hip hop records, but they feel like they belong to us.
I will give them this for Elevators as well. It really got you into that whole theme of ATLians. And it really spoke to...
The buy-in's heavy.
Yeah, like sonically, you're like, okay, that sounds like some outer space shit. You know what I'm saying?
It did.
And it was a great buy-in, just like Bombs Over Bad Dad was for Stankonia. So I will give it that.
Well, you know, this is my thing, too. You got to look. Growing up on the east side and actually living in Lithonia, imagine me when I'm in Charlotte in 96 when he's saying, I caught the 86 Lithonia headed to Decatur. I'm like, that's my side of town. That's home.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I was trying to find.
So it's like, yeah, the buy-in was heavy like on a few levels. It's like if you're from here, you're buying in on a certain level. But if you had ever been down here and you were away like I was in Charlotte by then. But when he said that, it was like, oh, my buy-in got personal.
Eric Terrell with the $20 super chat showing love says, Prince and Stevie only sang on their own music. It hurts the overall catalog. Mike and Coop, y'all making up shit. Outkast music is great. You never say Jay or Nas didn't rap over Outkast music.
How did we didn't say that it wasn't great. I just said it could have been.
It's incredibly great, but see, this is the thing. I don't think it's fair to compare Stevie and Prince's catalog to Outkast's catalog because those guys kept making music. Outkast has 4 albums, you know what I'm saying? Or we could say 5 with Speaker Box Love Below. Now, I wouldn't say those things, Eric Terrell, if Outkast would have continued on and had as many albums as Prince and Stevie did and was able to have those results based on their own production. But if you look at their counterparts, you look at Outkast's peers and all of the diverse production that they've rhymed on and how long their careers have gone, I do think it could be a discounting factor for them in a conversation with some of those guys. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Like, they never have rhymed over that stuff, and hip-hop is different.
Here's what I'm saying. So Mike, when you play Check the Rhyme from Tribe, and it's like you realize you have to play one of Outkast's best records to beat it, but they haven't played Bonita Applebum or War Tour or Electric Relaxation.
Yeah.
You're in trouble.
Yeah,
Mike, when you play Elevators, but Mobb Deep can play Shook Ones Part 2, and then play Survival of the Fittest, and then play Give Up the Goods, and then play Drink Away the Pain, and then play Hell on Earth. You feel what I'm saying?
It's facts.
And then play It's Mine, and then play Quiet Storm. Mike, you know what I'm saying? Like, what kind of game? Like,
we saw that when we did the Patreon.
I ain't show up
to
be happy and friendly with niggas and to shake a nigga hand after I get my ass whooped. Like, I don't know what we talking about.
Well, speaking of which, man, we sent in our top 5 diss records, right? And I think it sparked up an interesting conversation. Like, everybody has in their mind what makes a great diss record. Let me go to the super chats before we get into this.
Yeah.
I don't want to get lost. Mad Max of the super chat says, so you could take Mello over Pippen because Pippen was a co-star. Ain't Coop say that he'd take Mikhail over Karl Malone, and Mikhail was just a co-star. Dame is not even Trey, if we're being for real.
First of all,
I disagree on all those things.
First of all, Carmelo might be better than Scotty, for one.
I'm taking Melo over Scotty.
Like, right, if I was starting a team and you gave me the choice of drafting Scottie Pippen or Carmelo Anthony, I'm drafting Melo for one.
Straight up.
And people be wild. Keep going. Just keep going.
What? Yeah, not going to acknowledge the other part. All right, Esquire with the super chat says 13th Floor is the strongest closer in Cass's catalog, Chunky Fire included. I feel you about ATLians lagging at the end, but it's their second best LP. I disagree. Southern Playalistic's better. But again, to have ATLians at number 3, It ain't bad.
You want to know what, Mike, real quick? Benny actually referenced himself as Kevin McHale in relationship to Conway's Larry Bird.
Did he?
Yeah.
Kevin McHale was great.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is what I mean about sometimes you have to be there for things. It's like, how about this? Most people would tell you that if they had the choice of picking Kevin McHale or Scottie Pippen, they would take Kevin McHale. So in a lot of ways, he was a better co-star than even Scottie was to Mike.
Well, he had size and everything, so I could see that.
I mean, he did like outplay Hakeem in the finals too.
He's one of the best power forwards of his time.
How about this? Hakeem's Dream Shake and all the moves that Hakeem had, they came after the '86 finals. You know who he had to play?
Kevin McHale.
All right.
Esquire with the super chat says ATLian's atmosphere is literally otherworldly. It is.
It is like when you play Extraterrestrial, like in some
Extraterrestrial
speakers.
is
yeah.
That record, that's one of those X Factor records.
But Mike,
on Southern Playalistics end, you got Funky Ride as an X Factor record.
And Mike, you got records like Hootie Hoot that's just like you throw it off the backboard, and slam dunk on records like Extraterrestrial. That's what I'm saying.
What does ATLians have for Funky Ride? Like
Nothing.
Legit.
Nothing. Hold on. What do ATLians have for Ain't No Thing? What do they have for Southern Playalistic?
People
music?
would say Ain't No Thing would match up with Two
Dope Boys. Ain't No Thing's a better record.
It is. And I love Two Dope Boys. I like the
beat might be better to Two Dope Boys.
I was just about to say that.
But the bar work on Ain't No Thing is phenomenal.
But yeah, we talk about the top diss records of all time. And my top 5 looks something like No Vaseline. I had Ether at number 2. I had Takeover at number 3. I had The Bridge Is Over at 4, just for what it did, shut shit down.
Oh, you had The Bridge Is Over at 4?
I think I did. And my number 5 was The Black Slim Shady.
It's very problematic.
Let me explain.
Let me run down your list again.
Let me explain.
Yes, that's correct, Mike. You have No Vaseline at number 1, Ether at number 2, Takeover at number 3, The Bridge Is Over at 4, The Black Slim Shady at number 5. Mike, I'm going to pause for this intermission while you explain yourself.
Okay.
Excuse Coop while he takes a break.
I think The Black Slim Shady was a very creative record, and I think that for as highly regarded as Eminem is as a battle rapper, still hadn't responded. And I love the way Game was able to take on that theme, and I think it took a lot of guts to do that. You know, have the whole industry against you, have all the fans against you. And he came with the record. He clearly got somewhat blackballed after it. But, you know, no response. Would you say he won that matchup?
Not Drop a Gem on him by Mobb Deep, the Tupac diss. No. Not 10% diss by MC Lyte, but The Black Slim Shady.
Yeah. But see, again,
very problematic.
It's all about, I want to get to your list, too.
I don't even like Hit 'Em Up. You know how I feel about Hit 'Em Up.
Yeah.
Black Slim Shady.
This is the thing, though.
Game's got better diss records than that.
I thought about Pest Control, honestly.
Pest Control is
wild.
100 bars?
Yeah, 300 bars and running.
300 bars and running? Yeah.
But see, that made me think, what makes a great diss record, though? What are people gauging a diss record on? Is it the results? Is it the person that you're going against, like their level of competition? Because if we're talking about levels of competition, I think Ether has to be number 1, right? I will give.
That is why it's number 1.
I will give Cube this, even though it was, against a crew that he was a chief writer for. He broke up the world's most dangerous group.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
They weren't the world's most dangerous group anymore without him. So no, he didn't. They're not the world's most dangerous group without him. Because the most dangerous part about that group was the shit that he was saying.
Was the pen.
So they stopped being dangerous from the moment that he left.
Where do you put No Vaseline?
Oh, I think I got No Vaseline at number 2.
Okay, so you got Ether number 1.
I do. Hold on, let me pull up mine. I was all up in your stuff because you was doing this Black Slim Shady thing. Yeah, I have Ether at number 1. I have No Vaseline at number 2. I have The Takeover at number 3. I have The Bitch in You by Common at number 4. And I have The Bridge Is Over at number 5.
Okay, so you're basing it on, The Bitch in You has to be there because Cube is the target, right?
The record is like that. It's not just the Cube is the target. It's some of it is defining moments. I think battles in hip hop are also defining moments. Mm-hmm. And that's part of why I didn't pick Drop a Gem on him. I actually think Drop a Gem on him as a diss record is better than The Bitch in You and The Bridge Is Over. But the impact isn't there. And Pac dying. And you know what I'm saying?
You know what diss records have to have, though? They gotta have memorable bars.
I was actually about to say, not even memorable bars, Mike. Never before in rap does it matter more in battle. The punchline, Mike.
Yeah.
You have to say shit that makes people go, ooh. Like, I'm not even gonna lie.
Now, does it have to be true or not, or does it matter?
No, it doesn't. Because here's the thing. When people talk about Ether not being true, no. Listen to this bar. I don't care if you mob deep. I hold triggers to cruise. You little fuck. I got money stacks bigger than you. When I heard that as a Prodigy fan, I was like...
When I was pushing weight back in '88, you was a ballerina. I got the pictures. I seen.
I was like, okay. I was like, this nigga's playing dirty.
Then you dropped Shook One, switch your demeanor.
The way that you're supposed to play dirty. So understand that punchlines matter, and this is not a fair fight. It is everything goes. I get so tired of people trying to put parameters. No. Everything goes.
But you know what the memorable line is, though? We don't believe you. You need more people. And it seems like a great diss record has to have those taglines in them. You know what I mean? I'll give it to Drake with Back to Back, where he did the whole world tour, your girls tour.
Like, this ain't what she meant when she told you open up more. Good Lord.
Because you know,
it still stings, Mike.
It does, and I think that's what the story of Adidon misses as a diss record. It doesn't have like that memorable moment. I think it's just the
Infrared
overall
has
thing.
That more than Adidon does.
It does.
I hold Infrared higher than Adidon.
I do too. I thought about putting Infrared on my list.
You know, we really should do a top 20 diss records list because it's a little bit deeper than people think. Like picking the top 5 diss records, it's like, no, there's been about 15 to 20 like all time great diss records. You can go to stuff like Corrupt's Calling Out Names.
I love that record. From Streets is a Mother. I bought that album, by the way. Yeah,
that's a dope album.
It is a dope album.
Corrupt's a beast on the mic.
It just came out around the time 2001 came out.
But the impact matters, and what I find is the impact is also, often surrounded around the characters. And so I've always told people this: the 2 biggest peaks, not the best, but the 2 biggest peaks I've seen in terms of how people viewed it was Rakim's peak and Jay's peak. Well, Ether happened at Jay's peak.
It did.
And I don't care what
to the point where we thought Nas was done. And I know I did. I'm going to just keep it a buck.
I told you, Mike, I am still traumatized from my friends in Greensboro ganging up on me when the takeover came out. Like, yo, boy, cancel that nigga.
Yeah.
This shit over for him. They like, Jay got him, Coop. You're going to have to let it go. Like, he may not be the same after this.
Ask Nas. He don't want it with Hov. No. And see, that's what I'm saying. Like, those bars and stuff like that are important in this
That's
record.
what I mean.
And we got to break these things down before we do a list for real, so people can know
you have to be insightful,
where it's coming from. Yeah.
Sarcastic, witty, ruthless. It's all
Jay
the
got
above.
all those things.
He got all those things. But
all those things.
But you're right about this, Mike. But usually what you'll find in battle, the best lyricist typically wins the battle.
Okay.
The best lyricist typically wins the battle.
As the most entertaining person, right?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think it's.
So you think Beanie Siegel's a better lyricist than Jadakiss?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, say that with no problem.
And you know what? If we want to talk about,
I think Beans lyrically is better than almost like.
What do you think his "Put Your Hands Up" against Jadakiss fares? Because to shut somebody like Jadakiss down is big work.
That was Jada's peak. That's why I hold the "Put Your Hands Up" freestyle so high.
Yeah.
Yeah, like lyrically, I don't think people understand who Beans is. It's like I don't put few above Beans lyrically. Beans is better than Face lyrically. It's better than Ghost lyrically. It's better than Ray lyrically. So that's what I think of Beans lyrically.
Damn, you got him high.
Lyrically?
I don't put him ahead of Ghost lyrically, but I feel you.
I do.
But, I'm a super Ghost fan. Salt Rain, Saltwater Tab.
I love Ghost, but it's like lyrically speaking, no.
Eric Terrell with the super chat says Black Slim Shady is not Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, second round knockout by Cannabis.
Let's talk about what do you think about Second Round Knockout? Because that's a record that people always mention, but it's a loss.
You know what? The most memorable thing about that song is that the greatest rapper of all time died on March 9th. And so a Biggie shout out on your diss record being the most memorable part of your diss record is why your diss record's not top 10 too. Because,
after hearing what we heard about Biggie and LL and that relationship, I listened to that bar very differently.
Right. But I'll tell you what. Even with Ether, you know why I hold Ether so high? It's not even about there's an intangible component that comes with a great diss record. It's like, the Bridge Is Over, they say were actually like some samples that Marley was supposed to use that they got their hands on. So that's kind of like, ooh, they took one of Marley's beats and then trashed his crew on one of his beats. No, shit like that matters in battle.
That's why I like Toss It Up. Incredible.
Mike, when you're literally on the hook talking about I fuck with your solar ether and you're in the background talking about
yeah.
Will. You know what I mean? That's that ruthless, savage, tongue-in-cheek, sarcastic, but punchline, it's all in one. And he did that on the hook, Mike. Not even the bars. He did it on the hook. What it takes most rappers to do in a whole verse, he did on a hook.
Well,
that's why it's the greatest.
Game is underrated, as we've discovered over the past
Mike, ether is 2
years.
hooks in one.
Yeah.
I fuck with your solar ether, will teach you the king you know you not. Got sun across the belly, lose. I prove you lost already. It's 2 hooks in one. I told people, it's like, well, the battle was over when I heard the hook, but if you want to hear him rap on his ass, you know what I'm saying?
Yo, what's that second verse?
Even the
I've been left for dead, distant, forgotten, luck ran out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
y'all
Nas
just piss
album.
on me, shit on my grave, talk about me, laugh behind my back, but in my face, y'all some well watching, friendly acting, envy hiding snakes.
But see, what Nas also proved in even that back and forth was even if Jay would have had a suitable comeback, which is one of the reasons why Ether just overwhelmingly won, Nas still had more in the chamber. He still had Last Real Nigga Alive. He had much more. He had Made You Look Really. Honestly, if
you
things
a slave
kept
to a page
going,
like that's why I be telling people, it's like when he's saying you a slave to a page in my rhyme book, who do y'all think he talking to?
If he would have kept going, like that record could have been about him too.
He don't want it with Nas. I told you he didn't want to do that. He didn't want to do that. And this is what I mean is like, well, everybody's like, well, the stuff Nas saying is not true. But now it's like looking like time's going on. And it's like, oh, no, a lot of that was true. It's like, oh, okay. But this is what I mean about diss records being great. You remember when you first heard Ether?
Yeah.
I just remember the Tupac part. I was like, oh, this shit on.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? No, it's things like that you never forget when it comes to battle. Just like Ron Brown's putting it, fuck Jay-Z. With the Tupac sample, it was like, oh,
it's on, right?
It's on. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah. Jay Shore with the super chat says the Pippen disrespect has gotten out of hand. He literally does everything better than Melo except for shoot, and is a better athlete. Pippen was 3rd in MVP in '94. Yes. Melo and AI fooled y'all because they got it back.
I love Scotty.
DJ Bruce Almighty says, what about Story Adidon bars? The impact was crazy, and I'm not a huge Drake fan, but he was the hottest at the time. What do you think about people ranking that diss record high? It's just
not a better record than Infrared. And when people are talking about it, it's like, well, Infrared is really the record that shut him down. It's like Adidon was just kind of like, let me go ahead and finish this guy off. Infrared's the record.
We talked about this
in a
Exodus,
previous Mike.
Show.
That's what I'm saying. Pusha got 3 diss. He has a trilogy on them.
We talked about this in a previous show, though. He went the approach that he needed to go to get the attention that he needed to get to win. Because if he would have went on some subliminal or some street shit, then they would have been, it would have got ignored. So he went the blog route, you know what I'm saying? And he won in that way. But ultimately, I don't think that fares well with other diss records. I mean, I don't even know if Story Adidon, I would put it over back to back. He just exposed Drake, and again, social media world caught it.
And we have to expose that the intangible matters too. Like what Jay said at the end of the Nas verse. Well, you know who? Did you know what? Till you know who? Let's keep that between me and you. Like for dudes, they're like, oh, it's over because of that, and it's like, well, that's not his girl. That's his baby mama.
Right.
But to dudes, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So those things matter in battle too.
To me, I think the strongest thing that was going on in the story of Adidon wasn't even the fact that Drake had a kid and all that stuff.
It was the cover.
It was the blackface.
It was the cover. That's what I'm saying.
That's what it was for me.
So when the cover's the best part of your diss record, you don't have an all-time great diss record on your hands. You feel what I'm saying? Just like with second round knockout. It's like when you're making the Biggie line, and that's the best part of the record. It's like, oh, well, how all-time great is the diss record?
We got another super chat in here. Max with the super chat says, what about F with Dre Day?
Dre Day is a diss record.
That's a heavy record. That's got to be up there.
With my nuts on your tonsils.
That beat was crazy.
And we gonna rob, because we gonna rob you in Compton and blast you in Miami.
Yeah. And
then we gonna creep to South Central on a street knowledge mission as I step in the temple.
Ooh, yeah. That record's tougher than people forget, than people remember.
Mike, that's the first single off the Chronic for a reason.
That's like the first song on the Chronic for real.
It is. It's the first song and the first single.
Yeah.
People think that Nothing But a G thing and like Let Me. It's like no. Dre Day was the first song.
F with Dre Day is heavy.
That beat,
that's probably top 10. the beat, the message, the video. The video was hilarious.
Hilarious. We won't easy. We won't easy. Like, yo, they was having fun with that record.
And with Luke's in there too.
Yeah.
And see, that's my thing
bad.
too. And that's why I kind of hold Takeover high as well, because it takes aim at a bunch of people. Where it's not just one person. And I feel like that with F with Dre Day too.
Takeover is really a Prodigy diss in a Nas setup. It's really a Prodigy diss though.
It took Prodigy off. I won't say off the map, but you know, it took Mobb Deep down a notch.
It changed things, but I mean, here's the thing about it. Prodigy did get what he asked for, though, and I say that as a fan because he did go into the source and be like, he told Jay, he's like, you need to be quiet because when the war was on, you was quiet like a bitch. That's what he said.
I remember that.
And everybody in New York read him calling Jay a bitch. So he didn't really leave Jay no choice. You know what I'm saying? He's like, oh, you want to call me a bitch? I got you in a ballerina dress. Let's go.
What Tupac say? I'm a bitch. Well, slap a bitch. Andrew Williams with the super chat said, Ether is one of the most factual diss songs ever, and it's #1 ever. What you 36 in a karate class? Your man stabbed made you take the blame.
I'm gonna tell you the most true part about the Ether to me, Mike, was the whole: is he Dame Diddy, Dame Daddy, or Dame Dummy? I get it. You Biggie and he's Puffy, and he's in the background, Mike, going, ew, because when he was saying it, niggas was thinking, ew.
Right. Blue Collar Hustle with the super chat. Yeah. I mean, the Ether, the shit to make his soul burn slow.
That's Mike. That might be the coldest shit ever said on record, because it's like that's that part of Nas's writing game where it's like, okay, he's different as a writer than Jay, though.
No, it's true. Blue Collar Hustle with the super chat says everything in Ether has proven to be true, all the way down to Jay smashing Foxy. Search also confirmed that Nas did count off when Jay sampled his voice. Yeah. Andrew Williams with the super chat says 20 years later we're finding out that Ether was one of the most factual diss records ever, but the media wants us to believe otherwise.
No, I mean, he's saying it though. Your ass went from hanging from Jazz to Kane to Big to Irv. Queens niggas run you niggas. Ask Russell Simmons where they get their distribution deal from.
Yeah.
Where Russell from?
Def Jam. Yeah.
It all seems very factual to me. Did he not start off hanging with Jazz?
Eminem murdered you on your own shit.
Did he not go from hanging with Jazz to hanging with Kane? Then it was to Irv. Then it was to Big. It's like these are factual things.
But
Nas is there
being
watching it
whack
happen.
Compared to Beans was a reach, but I get it.
That's that everything's fair type of stuff, because there was niggas on the street that felt like Beans was just as good. How about this?
Coming off the Dynasty, that wasn't too much of a stretch. Be honest.
My brother Rico, owner of Black Dad Gang, shout out to Rico.
Shout out to Rico.
Rico in 2001, literally, he was like, no, it's Nas and Jay. He's like, but then it is Beans. So it was like that for some dudes.
Beans.
People don't understand. You had to be there.
You had to be there.
You had to be there.
Yeah.
You had to be there.
For that small window of time, man, Beans.
Yeah, he had about a 2 or 3 year gap, Mike, where it was just like yoga, fire, flame.
And I remember they used to say this stuff in articles and stuff. Jay would say it himself. He would say that Beans was pipping. And I used to think like, damn, what does Memphis think about this? Like, Memphis been around the whole time. But they was right.
No.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. Jay wanted it to be Pippen. Let me tell you what it was really more like. Really more like KD and Curry.
I was going to say Katie and Westbrook, but hey.
No. KD and Curry's closer. It's a gap between KD and Westbrook.
Blue Collar Hustle.
KD and Curry, like,
Blue Collar Hustle with the super chat says, y'all saying Story of Adidon don't have those catchy bars, but what about You Hiding a Child and Tick Tick? Your boy is sick. No,
it's not as memorable, Mike. It's just not.
What? Hiding a child from the world. Now, Soulja Boy.
The game's fucked up. Your hooks did it.
You know, the biggest thing on...
No, that Infrared's just better, Mike.
The biggest thing on Infrared for me was the Wayne thing, where he's like, you see what I see when you see Wayne on tour. Flash without the fire. Another multi-platinum rapper trapping can't retire. Niggas get exposed. I see the cracks and I'm the liar. Shit, I've been exposed. I took the crack and built the wire. Now who do you admire?
Your rap songs is all trying my patience. Them numbers ain't real without inflation.
Jeez.
That's what I'm saying. Infrared's the record.
It is.
Infrared's vicious.
Infrared is what got Drake out of bed and said, you know what? I gotta say something to this nigga.
Yeah. It was bad, Mike. Like, because you got to think about how, like, concise and precise Daytona is, and then you get the end, it's like, yeah, let me take this nigga off the map since I'm in this zone.
Because Drake didn't have to say anything.
No. It's very calculated by Push. Yeah. It's like, he's like, no, I'm having the best moment of my career.
I'm gonna set him up.
You want to know what I'm about to do? Game on.
Right.
That's what I mean about the intangible parts about that diss record make it better too. And those things matter in the diss conversation.
Yeah.
It's not just the song. Like Ether's, like the beat to Ether,
I don't
the
like
bitch in you, those aren't great beats. But the diss and the things surrounding the diss, I told you, you slinging St. Ides and bean pies in the same sentence. That's some of the illest shit ever. Because he pointed out some of Cube's hypocrisy that we weren't looking at because Cube was the man.
Because Cube was Cube.
And he was the man, and wasn't nobody really questioning Cube. It's like, no, this nigga made Friday America's Most Wanted, Death Certificate, Good Day, Natural Born Killers with Dr. Dre. Cube's the man. Common like, this nigga a walking contradiction.
I wish the beat for Ether was better, because I'm gonna be honest.
Jay don't wish that. Look, Jay don't wish that.
I listen to the Takeover more than I listen to Ether.
It's about the beat
because of the production.
The Takeover
delivery.
is a better beat, and that's why I put it like within striking distance of. But
it can't be over it, and I struggled with this even when I was putting my list together. Even though I listened to Takeover more than Ether, I couldn't put it over Ether because it didn't beat Ether. You know what I mean? Not that it was going head up with Ether. But again, it lost.
See, here's the thing about it. And this is what I mean. Perspective even matter in battle. So when Jay's doing the Takeover, Jay is talking about Nas the way a fan would talk about Nas. Mm-hmm. Like he changed his perspective. That's what was dope about the Takeover for me, specifically when he went at Nas, was the perspective that he took wasn't a normal Jay perspective. Jay's perspective is usually like looking down on you. Jay actually took himself down and was like, 4 albums in 10 years? Nigga, I can divide. That's one of it. It's like, hold on. It's like Jay don't normally talk like that. His talk game's different on the Takeover. Yeah. But this is what I'm saying. But this is also what happens when you go first or you have a rebuttal. Nas is like, oh, you want to talk like a fan? I'm going to talk like your therapist.
Yeah. I mean, he came at Nas from perspective like, yo, you washed.
Yeah. And so Nas is like, well, let me sit you on the
couch. I'm hot right now. You washed.
Right. And he was like, well, let me show you exactly how you got here and why I'm still the man. That's what I mean. Like, Ether's more of a psychoanalysis of him really saying it's like, oh, well, you only exist in this space because I haven't really stepped up. But since I'm here, let me go ahead and...
Well, Ether's also more challenging in the sense where, like you said, Jay is at the top of his game and possibly at the top of any game that anybody's been on outside of what Tupac was doing, right, in 96.
Tupac's 95. Moment didn't last as long. He died.
Yeah. And so Nas is coming off of his worst album at the time, you know what I mean, going through all kind of personal things. So it's like...
It's a platinum album.
Yeah. But, most critically bashed album.
I was reminded of that by him.
So, yeah. And then on top of that, he was able to get up and basically make this diss record and kind of take somebody off the throne.
He's the greatest MC of all time.
Exactly. I mean, so the level of difficulty on Ether is higher than any degree of difficulty in any of these diss
But I don't think the disrespect has ever been higher, too, because there's never been somebody as talented as Nas. And this is what I mean about how I didn't realize how big Jay was in people's minds. So people were really coming to me and talking like Nas is over. I'm like, this might be the greatest writer we've ever seen in hip hop.
But y'all are telling me, what have you done for me lately?
Right, and you're telling me that it's over? But this is what I mean, like, and how he may have reminded me of this. It's like, well, Nostradamus is platinum. Yeah. I Am's triple platinum. Yeah. It was written as double platinum.
A lot of smoke. A lot of smoke and mirrors making it seem like his career was worse off than it was.
It's like, okay, it's like, so, and this is what I mean is like, well, no, did he sell 5 million in 1998? It's like, no, he sold 3. Right. But I'm pretty certain if you put one of his records on a movie soundtrack and give him an Annie Hook, he would have sold 5 in 98 too. So when people are trying to, the gap that people saw when that sales thing happened, it's like, people forgot that it's like, no. Nas is going triple platinum damn near back to back off It Was Written in I Am while Jay's doing volume 2. Yeah. So if you actually look at second and third album sales, they're actually comparable because volume 1's just barely platinum. No, It Was Written's damn near triple. I Am is triple. So they're selling 6 million records. Just differently. One's doing 1 over here and then 5. The other one's doing 3 and 3. But it's the same shit.
Outsold volume 3.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
It's better.
Frank Wizard with the super chat says, you reckon it strings. Jay that Ether dropped on his birthday. Oh, sorry. You reckon that it stings. That Ether dropped on Jay's birthday.
That too.
Y'all heard the story how Jigga heard it in the club when it dropped.
Right. See, that's what I mean about things like that matter. It's like, imagine you're Jay and you're waking up on your birthday and the radios are playing Ether. Fuck Jay-Z. It's like, no, that matters in battle. Okay. Checkmate.
I could see that being number one. Andrew Williams with the super chat says,
like Ether has everything, Mike. It has some of everything to it. It's got the truth. It's got the jest. It's got the hook. It's got the guy. It's got the guy against the guy having the biggest moment. It's got a Tupac sample. He dropped it on his birthday. Like, no.
The only thing it's missing is the beat.
It's a checkmate move, Mike. It's as big of a checkmate move. He knew who he was dealing with, and that's why I like Nas on this record. He didn't approach Jay from a perspective of feeling like he was Jay equal. He was treating the battle like everybody had elevated Jay above him, and he went and snatched that shit right back down.
Andrew Williams with the super chat says, Snoop and Dre did Easy Dirty on F with Dre Day. Jay Short.
Hey, Mike, real motherfucking Jesus up there, too. That beat is crazy.
That beat is hard.
That beat's better than the Dre Day beat, Mike.
Think so?
Yeah, real motherfucking Jesus is a better beat than Dre Day.
I'm going to listen to those back.
Put it up in the chat. Let's find out.
Okay.
Let the people decide.
Jay Short with the super chat says, when Nas says compared to Beans, you whack, I took it as Jay wasn't rhyming in that volume 1 level anymore, and everyone knew it, including Jay. And I could see that, Jay Short. I could see that him saying compared to Beans, you whack is based on how he was rapping on volume 3 in the Dynasty.
That's that fan perspective. So he turned some of Jay's fan perspective on him. That's why I mean Ether has some of everything, and plus it's the shit that makes your soul burn slow, apparently. We didn't know that. And the shit is an adjective now too, Mike. It's like when somebody gets beat at something, what do we say? It's like, oh, well, they got ethered.
Well, Jay Short, this is where I took it, the way I took it. I thought it was a response to him saying your bodyguard's Uchiwali verse is better than yours. So I felt like Nas was responding to that line with the whole compared to Beans you whack thing.
No. The verse on Uchiwali's whack, Mike.
But him saying that Haas had a better verse than him, I mean, maybe he did. But for him to say your bodyguard's Uchiwali verse is better than yours, that's why I thought the Beans line came from.
The verse is bad, Mike. Next.
Dante Jedi with the super chat says, Common's so sweet to Drake and Lupe's response to Royce are both tough as hell. Common having Cube and Drake on his resume is mean. I don't think Common won that because I think Drake got Common on that Stay Scheming, and that was it. I
was kind of washed with that. I don't feel like it really went where it was supposed to go either.
Stay Scheming is.
You like that better than Sweet?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I thought Common was too emotional on Sweet.
I'm ambivalent about both. I'm not big on either. I like them both, but I'm not like, I was cool with calling that a wash.
When he said it's funny when the gods get to acting like the broads. I mean, that's it.
That's pretty cold. But
yeah.
I mean, Common had already beat Cube too, so no disrespect to Drake, but it's not like I was looking at, I don't think Common ever invested into it heavy either.
Well, this is before Meek though. You know what I'm saying? And this is when Drake was kind of an easy target for guys. This is when Mos Def came out and said what he said, and then Lupe jumped up. So people were trying to get at Drake, and this is before he proved that he could do what he did with Meek. And yeah, I mean, I think Stay Scheming was kind of his coming out party with the diss records or whatnot. Blue Collar Hustle with the super chat says, the Ether beat is an example of Nas beat picking being pretentious. He says, only Nas could take a beat and make it sound as epic, as dangerous, and etherous.
Here's what I do like that he did too.
I think that's where that narrative comes from too, is Ether. What? That bad beat picking thing.
No, I think what he did with Ether though is that he made it about him and Jay, as in he didn't go to a notable producer on purpose. He's like, nah,
I don't want it to be about the beat. Yeah.
Right, because as much as people hate to admit it, Mike, it's like, no, part of the buy-in with the takeover is the beat. And don't think Nas didn't know that either. He's like, right. Oh, no. He's like, I don't need a beat like that to beat him. And he didn't. That's what I mean is like Ether got some of everything. He's like, oh, you got that great beat? He's like, guess what? I don't need to wax that ass. That beat, let's go.
You're right. Andrew Williams with the super chat says, last real nigga alive was brutal. Nas really could have did Jay extra dirty if he let him use that Jay dummy on stage. Oh, yeah. Nah, they weren't going to let him do that.
And we'd like to thank this battle because, Mike, I believe this battle led to an infamous Summer Jam rant that led to your inspiration to start according to hip-hop. Shout out to Jay and Nas.
Esquire with the super chat says, and Jay passed on the Ether beat before Nas. As he should have.
Oh, you see, that's some inside information, too. Like, almost like, oh, that beat's not good enough for you? Watch what I do to you.
Exactly.
Watch what I do to you on this beat. Mike, when he said the shit that make your soul burn slow, Mike, we were all like, oh, like, okay, like he.
BCM with the super chat says, Ether was written like a term paper.
Told
First
you.
verse was the intro, second verse was the body, and the third verse was the closing.
It's a clinical psychological breakdown.
So, all right, before we move on to the next topic.
With a hijack hooked in the middle, Mike, he was running around saying, I will not lose, and the dude's on the hook mocking him while he's beating him.
Before we move on, what do you think makes a great diss record?
People
what are the elements?
No, people are talking about Jay didn't get knocked down a notch. Have you heard the blueprint too?
Yeah. I mean, Jay's talking, it's clear. And I like the blueprint too.
No, I think
he's rapping his ass off on there for a reason.
I think the punchlines and the memorable lines, punchline/memorable lines, definitely.
Okay.
I think we're finding out that the beat doesn't matter as much, Mike, because we're not talking about the production of these records. You know what the best beat might be? Is to drop a gem on them beat.
Think so?
Yeah, as far as this record beats.
Fuck with Dre Day.
Dre Day comes
heavy.
I like to drop a gem on them beat more than Dre Day, but that's more of the boom bapper in me.
Okay. So yeah, the beat doesn't matter as much.
So we know that the beat doesn't matter as much. We know that
memorable lines, hooks don't really matter either.
But here's the thing, this is what I'm saying. But when you have a hook, like an ether hook.
Right.
I mean, ain't gonna front. Even ROC, we running this rap shit. It's a battle cry, Mike. Yeah. Memphis Bleak, you amping your crew up. We going to war. B Mac, we running this rap shit. You amping your crew up to go to war. It's like, no, them hooks matter. It's the infamous further? Back in the house once again, live a life that of diamonds and guns and now gems. Pull gats like a bass head, pull on stems. The mob got the bomb. Go out and tell a friend.
Let me ask you this: subliminals or direct shots?
Direct shots. I hate sucker shit.
I hate subliminals too. All right.
So. I didn't like. How about this? The whole Nas and Jay thing happened because they spent too much time being shady to each other on record. There's a lot of shade being thrown on record by these dudes for years.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when Jay's on What You Think of That, you know that's a Nas shot, right?
Mm-hmm.
My shit did 4, your shit did what? Who he talking to, Mike?
Yeah.
Big and Pac ain't around. Who he talking to? You think
exactly.
he talking to Ja Rule? He talking to DMX?
Nope.
Nah, we know who he's talking to.
I guess the other thing is facts. Or I guess I don't even say playground disses, but just, you know what I mean, like creative disses.
Yeah.
Factual information or creative
both.
Stuff.
That's what I mean. Like you got to
mix it all up.
I think you got to get creative with your facts. Does that
because that's what Pusha T did with Story of Adidon. Now,
right.
I'll give him that. If he would have made that shit up, it wouldn't have mattered.
Like the little fuck I got money stacks bigger than you. It's like, well, technically. That's factual because Jay had enough money at the time that if he probably would have stacked it up, Prodigy not a tall dude. He could have stacked his money up and been taller than him. And so it's factual, but it's creatively factual. And that was the real buy-in.
That's why I like the Black Slim Shady. A lot of creatively factual information.
What's the next topic, Mike?
Jay Shore with the Super Chat says, I think that Sheether has to be in the discussion too.
Okay.
Nicki was on top and Remy was out of jail. Remy basically pushed Nicki out of the hip hop space. What do you think about Sheether being involved? Because I just think
I wasn't that big on Sheether, but
I wish she would have picked her own track.
The petty level was
and her own.
She's very petty.
Yeah, I mean she killed it.
When we talk about petty level, you understand that petty in modern day time starts with Sheether. It's like that's where we identify petty. It's like, oh, that's what petty looks like.
But it's crazy though, man. People, and even when we had our discussion about Nicki last week. We don't act like Sheether even exists. When it did do something, but it didn't really, did it knock her down a notch?
The impact just has to be there too. And I think that is the part of the diss record that actually might be most important when we think about it now.
Impact.
The impact. I think the impact here matters maybe more than anywhere else.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of
Takeover did a lot to Mobb Deep. That's
and Nas. People literally running around saying Nas was done. No. Dre Day did something to Easy. No Vaseline did something to NWA. The Bitch and You did something to Cube. Takeover did something to Nas.
I don't feel like the Bitch and You did anything to Cube. That's
it got Cube in his face. Minister Farrakhan had to intercede, Mike.
Really?
Minister Farrakhan had to intercede. And you don't think Ice Cube in his feelings a little bit about taking this L? While Farrakhan got to intercede if Ice Cube ain't in his feelings.
I don't even remember any of that. I need to go back and
they squashed their beef at Minister Farrakhan.
Well, what do you think about, just outside of what you feel about the record personally, Hit 'Em Up's impact?
I don't like Hit 'Em Up as a record, though. That's what I'm saying.
But it's
the impact is there. No.
Yeah.
You off of impact, you would probably have to throw it in. But here's the thing about it is that I think that record actually suffers from some lack of quality. But it does have memorable lines. It's just not the type of stuff that I like to recite. First off, and you click, you claim. Okay, well, all right. That's how we're going. All right, that's what we're doing. Thug
we
life.
all know every last word of that.
Thug life. Okay.
Leroy Green with the $20 super chat showing love. He says, in rap, when you become, oh, shoot. Kind of went away for a second. All right. Said, in rap, when you become too successful, you automatically lose in hip-hop. Jay and Nas was like Drake and Push, and Drake versus Cole. The more successful artist automatically loses because it is not about skills. It's about nonsense.
So
I do kind of want to take that on because you got Leroy.
That's not factually correct.
It's not, because this is what I want to say, Leroy, and you know this. You were around for this. You lived this. Everyone who's anyone in the media was doing whatever they could to make sure Jay won this.
They tried.
They really did.
They
man.
tried.
Angie had a show called The Takeover. They tried to, you know what I mean? Like they were skewing the narratives. This was happening.
Let's go recall history properly, and I'm going to keep on expressing this to people. When Jay running around talking about like he's the biggest thing in rap, it's like, first of all, that's DMX. DMX is outselling Jay-Z and Nas. Mm-hmm. But if you really want to break it down and unpack it, Mike, let's break it down and unpack it. Illmatic sold 300,000 copies his first year. Reasonable Doubt sold 700. Okay. Mm-hmm. Second album, Volume 1, barely goes platinum. It was written almost triple. I believe 2.5 in a year. I believe it's triple now or quadruple now or whatever, but I'm just talking like in that calendar year.
In the time. Yeah.
In the time. Album number 3, Jay does 5, Nas does 3 something. I think it was like 3.2 or something, okay? Mm-hmm. Nostradamus does 1.5. What's Jay's fourth album? Is that Volume 3? Mm-hmm. Volume 3 does about the same.
Yeah.
So, Mike, sales-wise, when people are making it seem like Jay is such a bigger artist than Nas in his prime, you understand if you go through their first 4 albums, which was considered to be their quote-unquote selling prime, right, the sales are almost identical.
Exactly.
So Leroy don't know what he's talking about, and Leroy was there. Like, do we need to bring up like certifications to show that the record sales are comparable for the first 4 albums? Because people take this Jay 5 mil and keep forgetting that Nas did 3 twice before and during. Like, actually, he did it right before Jay dropped his, because that's 96, July 96, and then April 98.
Yeah, but in 2000, 2001, it would appear that Jay was the hotter artist at the time. He was the bigger artist.
He's the bigger artist in terms of notoriety.
Right.
But even if you go looking at sales over a course of time,
exactly,
which is what he was making his benchmark. Yeah. But if you really look at it, it's like, no. You outsold him once, fam. He actually outsold you more than you outsold him, if you look at it. Right.
Well, the thing is, too, man, even if what Leroy Green is saying is true, the people and the public, they're going to push back when they see that things look fixed from one end. Right. We're sitting here seeing that clearly Hot 97 wants Jay to win. Clearly the establishment wants Jay to win. So the people are going to react in the opposite way. And they're going to take the records for what they are. They're not going to let you cheat them.
When you pay people, Mike, that's what tends to happen.
Well, this is what I want to ask Leroy Green.
When you buy your spots and your slots, that tends to happen. And I'm so sick of people. When we talk about Jay's legacy, and this is where people just got to start being honest. No, he bought a lot of it.
Well, I mean,
he's great. Hustler. He's great. I'm not trying to take anything away from the MC skills, because as an MC, he deserves to be mentioned right next to Nas and Black Thought and Rakim or whoever's in your top anytime. That don't mean he didn't pay for some of this shit. He did.
He's a businessman.
We need to stop. But people, so many people been paid, Mike. Everybody just shut the fuck up and act like it ain't happened. It's like, no, you paid for a lot of that shit.
Well, this is what I want to ask Leroy Green.
And he's still greasing pockets because these people still quiet acting like he ain't do it.
Why didn't that work for cannabis, though? That same formula you're talking about, Leroy Green, why didn't that work for cannabis in the LL situation then, if it's all about the bigger artists losing all the time? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, Blue Collar Hustle with the super chat says, I'm sorry, I love subliminals. They're like clues for hip-hop detectives to decipher. A good sub can oftentimes be the most creative, be more creative than the direct disses. So this is what but it gets confusing too, though. How about this?
Like, this is why I don't like subliminals. Remember Jay on Come and Get Me where you're talking about Ja Rule? Mm-hmm. I'm like, don't do that when Ja Rule starts selling records, fam. You wasn't doing that when Ja wasn't selling no records. Now you're the reason Ja Rule exists.
Yeah.
You stole Ja's hook. and then act like Ja didn't exist, and then Ja flips his game and goes and does his own thing and starts selling more records than you and Nas and everybody except DMX pretty much, and now you got a problem. He had no problem when we holla
when he was giving
them
get a what?
Right, when he was giving them hooks and saying holla holla and selling, I think what Vinny Vidi Vici did like 1.3. Yeah, when he was doing them kind of numbers, wasn't no problem.
So when he was little bro, it's no problem.
Right.
When little bro becomes big bro, it's a problem.
Went on MTV with do-rags. I made them love you. Oh, is that what you did?
A little Kanye West jealousy there. Dante Jedi with the super chat says Dre and M's track on when Dre was coming at Jermaine Dupri and M was coming at Cannabis was tough. Beats and bars. What did you like? What did you think about Say What You Say? That's the thing. And maybe I'm from Atlanta. I didn't like them niggas coming at Jermaine Dupri. I thought that was so unnecessary.
I like the record because it's a dope record. But it's like, hold on, M and Dre, y'all ganging up on Jermaine Dupri?
I didn't like that.
All
because Jermaine said he could come out with a hit quicker than any of those guys in the studio.
I believe that to this day.
I mean, Dre's in the studio all the time and doesn't come out with anything. How can you even get offended by that? Your process is different. Not saying that who's greater. He said he could come out with a hit first. He's talking about speed. What's wrong with that?
You might be talking about quality, too. He made the Emancipation of Mimi.
He did.
My Way?
Yeah.
That's okay.
Functified him, too.
Functified?
Jay Short with the super chat says,
it's done a lot of work.
I think it's a feel, an outcome around the song, too. Dollars and Cents and Hit 'Em Up became dangerous outside of hip-hop, so we don't like to uphold those. No, that's real. Leroy Green with the super chat says, Coop, like Drake versus Cole, and it's not about skills. It's about people saying this is quote-unquote real hip-hop versus commercial.
No. Drake be outselling Cole by a lot, though.
Yeah, therefore, they automatically pick Cole no matter what.
No.
That was Jay versus Nas. But like I said,
how
did that work for Cannabis in the LL situation?
That's just, Leroy, I'm sorry, brother. That's just not true. That's not factual because you're comparing Drake to Cole, who sells like way beyond what Cole sells. Jay never sold far beyond what Nas sold in their primes. It's literally like, if you really, Mike, I mean, we can pull it up if I'm not mistaken. I Am that year did like 3.3. Jay did like 5 and barely did 5. It's like a 1.7 million difference at the peak, like in the same year. It's not some astronomical gap where one guy's over here going gold and the other guy's over here going diamond.
Revisionist history.
Boy,
Ed with the $20 super chat showing love. He says, Ether made Jay step up lyrically.
That's what I mean.
He was going crazy on the Blueprint 2 and the Black Album.
That's what I mean.
Nas lit a fire in Jay.
Where you think
Hovey Baby, You Don't Know remix, The Watcher 2, Pump It Up freestyle, PSA, had him copping please on the Blueprint 2 diss track. That's real. I've always said that. He stepped it all the way up on the Black Album and the Blueprint 2. And that's the Ether effect.
He sound rushed and scrambling, though, too. The coolest guy ever sounded rushed and scrambled, and people talking about Ether ain't have no effect.
I mean, for him to say 7 straight summers, critics might not admit it. Nobody in rap did it quite like I did it. That's like, well, who is he? What is he talking about?
Running down your resume, fam.
All right,
that loss hurt, don't
you
it?
Did it? I done it before. You did it. I had it. Got mad at it. Don't want it no more.
Yeah,
it's like
your feelings hurt, huh?
We know who you
are,
lost
man. Real bad.
You never had to talk like
you lost
this.
Real bad, man. It was bad, dude.
But I enjoyed him rapping. What
did he say? What did he say on You know, so even in defeat is a valuable lesson learned. So I was like, oh, so you admitting you lost too?
So evens it up for me. That's the only time Jay ever admitted he lost anything.
Trying to rationalize your loss. It's like, fam, you just got beat. You just got beat by the better man. It's like, let that shit go. But
as my dad would say when we used to play whatever back in the day, you got beat by the best.
You did get beat by the best.
You got beat by the best.
You did get beat by the best.
All good, man.
This is what I'm saying. When we be having this conversation, like, how about this? Let's just reframe this and let's move on to the next thing.
Uh-huh.
Do you know? Imagine if Nas's first song, that's one of the best songs that he ever did, it might be his best mic performance, has a Jay-Z sample on it. Do you think Nas would live that down?
You're right.
This man's whole career is based off of what sample?
I'm out for presidents to represent me.
From what? And the producer of the record has said on record, no, I told Jay I was going to take that out, and Jay said, no, leave that in.
Yeah.
His whole career started off of Nas's back. That's a fact. Or have we not all heard Dead Presidents? Whose voice is that on Dead Presidents? Is that not still arguably Jay's best mic performance? Now, let's flip the script and put...
It's my second favorite Jay-Z song. For a long time,
I said
it was
mic performance, though. As far as 3-verse mic performance, it is his salvo to me, in my opinion. I agree. That third verse is some of the best shit you'll ever find.
Soviet, the unified, steady flow.
And the memorable ending of the first verse. I dabbled in crazy weight. Without rap, I was crazy straight. Partner, I'm still spending money from 88. Nah.
And then coming in the second verse and make you and your whack mans fold like bad hands, roll like Monopoly, advance you copping me like white crystal. I gross the most to the end of the fiscal year than these niggas could wish to. Jeez.
But Mike.
Rapping like that the whole song.
Who back is that on?
Yeah, that's on the
Now tell me that if tell me if The World Is Yours was built off a Jay-Z sample, that Jay fans wouldn't be running around for the entirety of this.
You're right.
And not one Nas fan ever brings it up because we respect Jay, love Jay, and knows what he did with the record. But he's second, Mike.
You know what I noticed, man, and it's crazy, man.
He's second.
I'm gonna say this and we can move on. But we posted on the According to Hip Hop.
Your best mic performance got this man's voice on the hook. You're number 2. I'm sorry.
We posted this on According to Hip Hop, right? It was KD 1, 2, 3, and Magic. And it was like, what's the best album in this picture? Here come all these Jay-Z people. Like, no one said anything about Jay. Like, they're like, Kingdom Come's better than all these albums.
Like nobody asked you that.
Like, why do Jay fans do this,
nobody
man?
Asked
like,
you all that.
Because nobody does that on the other end. Like,
that's what I mean. Like I just want you to understand. It's like, but think about that. Why hasn't anybody ever brought up the whole Dead Presidents thing? It's because Jay get his props and his respect on this side. It's just people. How about this?
It's like Jay fans feel threatened by the truth. Hold
on, Mike. Jay fans act differently than Nas fans. It's because one set of fans think that their guy might be the best ever. The other group of people know their guy is the best ever. It's like, oh, my guy beat your guy. Your guy been using my guy's song. It's like, oh, your guy been talking about my guy on record before your guy even like body crazy, tits firm like Nature Foxy, Nas, and AZ. That's volume 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. On volume 1, there's a song called Rap Game, Crack Game. Where he get that sample from, Mike? Sometimes the rap game reminds me of the crack game. Where'd that come from?
Yeah.
He been in this man bag for a minute, Mike.
Andre's on that hook too, to be fair.
Yeah, that's the intro to Southern Playalistic. Primo did those scratches.
Yeah. KC1 with the super chat says, we're seeing Jay's media influence right now. Nas is making classics and Jay is doing trash verses, and we see the media influence.
People, he getting whole dissertations about mid-level verses.
Yeah, we are. Let's see what else we got here. I know we got a couple of more super chats and we'll move on.
Yeah, what's next?
Okay, Andrew Williams with the super chat says, Nas won and Jay lost. Simple as that. It's funny how people love to make excuses for their favorite, and I'm going to leave it at that. It's real. Leroy Green with the super chat says, Coop, when Jay was selling out arenas when Ether dropped, he was the closest thing to rapping Michael Jackson. Nas wasn't anywhere in the same arena. We're not going to go there, Leroy. Michael Jackson, at no point was there anybody that was selling records close to Michael Jackson, while at that point you're talking about DMX was outselling Jay-Z.
This is the impact of Jay, because he referenced himself as the Michael Jackson of rap. Yeah. People actually believe it. It's like, no. Go look at the record sales for DMX's first 3 albums.
Yeah.
Because they make Nas and Jay's first 3 album runs look like, and like, oh, those are record sales? Like, that's what your record sales look like for your first 3 albums? Yeah. Like, they introduce you to all these 5 million selling record albums.
DMX was a phenom on every level. John Phillips with the super chat says, y'all see Vlad's interview? Craziest thing about it was just how young everybody was back then. Saw a little bit of the interview. Was that Vlad or was that Art of Dialogue?
Hey, Mike,
don't remember.
And I thought about this because I think we were having this conversation on Wednesday about, hey, well, have boom bap rap albums ever really sold like that? And I thought to myself, and that's why I brought up It's Dark and Hell is Hot. I think It's Dark and Hell is Hot, and the numbers that it did ended that boom bap rap era. I think a lot of people look at it like it's the shiny suits. It was like, no, it wasn't the shiny suit thing. We knew street dudes wouldn't do that. It's what X did on It's Dark and Hell is Hot.
Because he gave you everything.
You
couldn't just deduce him to, champagne bottles and stuff.
Right. It's like, well, how about this? Or you couldn't just reduce him to the streets either. It's like nothing against Mobb Deep, but he bought something that Mobb Deep brought to the table, but he also bought something that Scarface brought to the table. But he bought something that Tupac brought to the table.
It's a very special album. That's why I hold it really high.
But it's still some New York rap shit, but it ain't no boom bap, Mike.
Yeah.
And it changed things.
It did.
Because when people talk about boom bap, I immediately think of the Infamous, and I'm like, yeah, that shit sold about 700,000 copies. It's like, no, X did damn near like 6 mil off It's Dark and Hell Is Hot. You feel me? 600,000, damn near 6. So it's two different worlds. Love P, but you know what I'm saying? It's just a reality.
That's just the reality of it. I sold what your whole album sold my first week.
That's real. No, he's right, because he did like 450,000, and the Infamous did about 600,000. And same thing with Hell on Earth. So he's right. I don't think Mobb Deep got a platinum plaque until the third album.
KC1 with the super chat says, only Jay-Z groupies care money. Only Jay-Z groupies care money and not about the music. I guess only Jay-Z groupies care about money and not the music. Leroy comes back with another super chat.
He says, money.
Coop, you're an artist, so you know what it's like to get a beat with vocal samples already in there. Sometimes you complete the song with it in there. The beat came with the Nas sample, fam.
And the producer said in meeting with Jay that he was going to take the sample out, fam. And Jay made a choice to keep the sample in, fam. What part of that are you missing, fam? And Leroy, since you know that I am artist, let me tell you something right quick. Quick bad boy talk. So the bad boy cats I used to run with, Mike, I used to get some beats from them.
Mm-hmm.
One of the beats and one of the things that I was able to pull off from the beats is that I had my cousin Six hook up a beat that sampled Biggie from I Got a Story to Tell, because I got a beat from one of the Bad Boy dudes, and the beat is stupid, Mike. I still have the track. But I took the part where it's where he goes, now I'm like, bitch, you better talk to him for the shit get dark to him. Fuck around, put a spark through him. Use a major part to him. Arm, leg. Mike, we chopped and screwed it.
I bet that was dope.
Shit is hot. I still got it on record. But what I'm saying is that, oh no, you know why we keeping that Biggie sample? Because that shit sounded hard.
Yeah.
You know why Jay kept that Nas sample? Because that shit sounded hard.
Well, I mean, it's the name of the song. Because without him saying I'm out for presidents to represent me, what's the song about?
It actually sounds like you're jacking worse if you do it without it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he just going to take my whole shit. He could at least he might as well sample my voice.
Frank Wizard with the super chat says, I've met kids these days that think that Dead President's beat is Nas's track because of the chorus. Well, that's fair. All right, let's go on to this matchup. Are we doing this Friday? Speaking of battles and song for song stuff. Well, I'm representing the Death Row family, and you're representing Wu-Tang. Now, I was just looking at one of our videos when we were talking about that tournament, the BET and Ambrosia for Heads has.
Same final.
And shout out to Ambrosia for Heads. They reached out to us and said they want to have a debate with us about the group thing. So I'm kind of working that out right now.
Oh, did they?
And yeah.
What do you mean?
I guess I need to go back and look at our video, but I think one of the big things that they might want to debate is why labels and crews and groups were all grouped in one thing.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with that either.
No.
And I think
like Death Row's not a group. That's a record label.
Yeah. And I think we need to come with separate things. And maybe,
toting out Snoop Dogg and Tupac. Fuck you mean? Ain't no group.
So I can't use shit. We going 20 songs deep, right? Or do you want to go 21? Just so there's no ties.
I mean, it's Wu-Tang and Death Row. Probably need to do a little 21.
Let's do 21. Yeah. Let's do 21. You want to do this Friday on Station Head?
Yeah, Friday is good.
Friday's good. I know Killer Mike's dropping Friday.
West Coast going down.
I think we should do like a pre-show, right? We should do a pre-show. We talk about this Killer Mike album. What else is dropping Friday? Nicki dropping Friday?
Ain't Nicki dropping Friday?
Nah, she dropping in like October or August.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, something like that.
A single dropping or something.
I think Doja Cat's dropping.
Did nobody ask?
Yeah.
Don't nobody care.
But yeah, so we can talk music real quick, and then we'll probably get everybody over into the station.
We'll do some reviews, do some talking, chop it up with the people, get a couple hours in online, do a couple hours on the station head. Take Death Row down like I'm supposed to.
Well, I think that
Wu-Tang.
Yeah, it's gonna be deep in there. We can't wait to see y'all in there.
Let your feet stomp.
And shout out to the people.
Rag shit to death.
Shout out to the people that was in that Future and Drake verses that we did Saturday. Now I want to go through some of this because I think I won. Let me know what you think, right? So started off Stick Talk. And then
Talk's a good start.
And then it was Free Smoke.
Hold on. Did you start off or did he start off?
I started off.
And you started with Stick Talk?
I started off with Stick Talk.
Very aggressive. Keep going.
All right. Stick Talk versus Free Smoke. I think I won that.
I think you did too.
Okay. And then I went.
That's what he picked for Stick Talk?
He did.
He could have took Stick Talk off the map.
All right. And then I
didn't want to play a banger.
I did Move That Dope. And then he played Middle of the Ocean. I think I won that too.
Pause. Tie. Pause.
Young Move That Dope. Okay. And then I played Superhero off because he was saying that, Middle of the Ocean was recent. So I was like, okay, well, I'll go with the Metro Superhero thing. You know what I'm saying? So I played that.
I like Superhero.
And then he played Diplomatic Immunity. I think I won that too.
Why did he play Diplomatic Immunity today?
I don't know. It was kind of sleepy time after that. And then I kept it aggressive. I was like, I played Where You At. He played Hype. I think I won that too.
I'll give him Hype.
You give him Hype over Where You At?
Yeah, I was never big
on Where You At. No niggas gonna leave. All right. And then I played Shit.
I was never big on that. I think it's more popular than it is good.
Then I played Shit. He played 10 bands. I think he got that.
He won 10 bands.
Then I played, then we flipped it, right? He played Nonstop. Now I played Trap Niggas.
Why'd he play Nonstop?
I think Nonstop won that one. Nonstop
What'd you play?
was hard. Trap Niggas.
I like Trap Niggas better, but that's just
Okay.
me.
Okay. All right. And then he played Believe Me, and I played Wicked.
What's wrong with y'all? What are y'all doing?
I think I won that one.
Where the records at?
And then he played Stay Scheming.
It's too late to play that. He should have played Stay Scheming after Stick Talk.
Yeah, and I played You Don't Even Know It. I think Stay Scheming won that.
You did.
He played 0 to 100. I played Karate Chop. Karate Chop didn't actually play as well as I thought it was going to.
I told you Karate Chop didn't age well. I said that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it didn't.
And 0 to 100's the shit. You lost that.
I lost that one.
You lost that.
Yeah. Then he played Trophies, and I played at the same damn time. I think I won that.
No, I'm not giving you that.
Really?
I'm giving,
You're
Trophies.
giving it the Trophies over at the same damn time?
Same damn time. See, okay, so here's how I feel about a lot of Future's records.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of his biggest records to me that a lot of people love, I can enjoy them, but I don't know if they're as quality as people think that they are.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think Same Damn Time is more notable for the hook than the actual quality of the song. I do think Trophies is a better record top to bottom.
Personally. The man said he spent so much in Louis, they gave him free champagne.
That's your whole rationale, ain't it?
I love it, man.
Right. That's the whole rationale. Mike's like, he's balling. They gave him free champagne in the Louis store.
Like Melly Mel said, man, hip hop is talking shit, and ain't nobody talking more shit.
No.
I mean, talking at the same damn time.
You know, it's funny. It used to be so uncool for a rapper to flex, and that's how somebody would roll up on you in the street. But now the flex is the thing. It's almost like, why ain't you flexing? You know, you're a rapper. You supposed to flex.
And then you know what? I wanted to flip it up. I played Low Life, and he played
terrible.
Energy, and I think Energy got that, right? Now I play Real Sisters.
Where the records at? What are y'all playing?
He played Look Alive. I think Look Alive won that. I played Wait For You. He played Western Road Flows. I think Wait For You won that.
Why would he do that?
I played Power of Attorney. He played Jimmy Cooks. Jimmy Cooks won that.
That's fair.
I played Magic. He played The Motto. The Motto won that. And then this last round.
See, that's what I'm saying. I love Magic.
The Motto was hard, though. I can't even front. When he played that, I was like, yeah, that's the superior record.
See, how about this? Motto, he should have played Motto like after Stick Talk. That's what I'm saying.
I think so, too. Motto was a beast.
He let you win too much early.
And then he's leading off on the last couple rounds, and this is where I got the heat. He played November 18th. I played Codeine Crazy. I won that. I'm sorry. Summer 16, I played Commas. I won that. Commas?
Yeah, Commas is better.
Miss Me, and then I played Mask Off.
I was like, he got you, but no, he don't.
But he got this one. He played I'm On One, and I was like, yeah, I guess Bugatti's the best thing I can do, and I just played Bugatti. Okay. And then he played The Ride, and I played Free Codes. I think I won that. And then the last one, They Know, in March Madness. Yeah.
Of course. They Know was his last one?
Yeah. So, yeah, I think I won that one.
Actually, I think you won, too. I think it was poorly played by both of you. Some of these songs, I'm like, these are the top.
But don't think you're going to get that break this week with Death Row.
Now, I will tell you this. You played Future's biggest records.
Mm-hmm.
He did not play Drake's biggest records.
But see, you know what? Drake got a lot of records, and I will give Drake that. You know, that's kind of what, I got from that whole matchup. He has a lot of records.
I would have hit you with some emo. I would have hit you with like Successful. You know what I'm saying? I would have hit you with shoot. You did the motto. Did Miss Me.
Drake has a much better catalog than Kendrick Lamar, I must say. That's kind of what I got from this.
I'm going to let you be the shady one about Kendrick today.
Jermaine Johnson with the Super Chat says, it totally works the other way around, too. Whenever Hove drops a feature/album, I instantly hear more noise about Nas comparisons on all hip-hop platforms, including A2HH. We just can't help ourselves. I guess not.
So I'll tell you what. No, we can't. I mean, they're forever linked in a way that like Pac and Big are. You know what I'm saying?
But the two of the best.
Well,
it's like LeBron and Jordan. Like, it's just going to happen.
I mean, that's my top 4, and then sprinkle in a little God MC. That's my 5. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
And a lot of people can't mention him without mentioning Kane. It's just what it is. Some people are just linked. Cole and Kendrick are linked like that, too.
The Kane and Rakim separation is the albums for me, but I understand
what you're saying. I agree with you.
But here's what I'll say, and this is quick plug talk.
Plug talk, pay attention.
Right. Got the keys. She got the keys. Plug is like, well, has a Nas fan or a Nas follower. Not us, but as a base of his fans. Mm-hmm. Putting them together always helps Jay more than it helps Nas. And so
you're right.
The fan base of Nas does need to separate more than the fan base of Jay does. As in, like when
Nas is active too, so that really does help Jay more because Jay's not even putting anything out.
Right. So when we're having conversations about Nas and we bring up Jay inadvertently, we are doing him a disservice. The plug has me notified me of that from the perspective that because of how Jay's machine works. The numbers are always going to skew in his favor.
True.
And so the best thing, if you really support Nas shit to do in relationship to Jay, not as in a shady way or in a slighter way, is to literally not say the man's name so that the guy that you chose that you think is the GOAT really gets the shine that's coming to him and kind of gives that more balance from a media and a metric standpoint.
I think I do that to some degree, obviously, but it really stopped a lot for me after KD too. When I saw how active and how much quality Nas is putting out currently, it's like it's no reason to even mention anybody else.
Also too, my quick plug talk. Plug's like, okay, she was like, who up here sharing and retweeting rap roundtable stuff on According to Hip Hop? I'm like, that's Mike D. She's like, tell Mike D stop retweeting the podcast stuff.
That's fan, man. Nah, they cool. And Jay Short with the super chat says, Coop.
She said, stop the retweets.
Jay Short says, Coop, do you hear yourself? Take Death Row down. You must have written for The Source in 94.
Going down. I got cream. Got protect your neck.
Yeah, man. Death Row sounds too big. This is going to be Rakim versus PE Part 2.
Got guillotine.
Who is who?
Incarcerated Scarfaces. Brooklyn too. Bring the pain. Going
you
down.
Got a lot of records.
Going down.
And I'm a huge Wu fan,
You're going
so I
down.
already know.
Because I'm gonna play some of these records, and your record's gonna sound great, but my record's gonna be like, oh yeah, that real hip hop.
I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you, man.
Count on real hip hop to win.
I haven't really come up with a
fancy
game
West
plan
Coast
yet.
shit. Because you got a bunch of fancy West Coast shit. I know you don't have no game plan. You're just gonna play banger, 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 banger. I got a plan for you. Going down. Going down.
I mean, I pretty much know what you're going to play.
No, you don't. I'm going to play the 20 best Wu-Tang records. That's what I'm going to do.
20 best Wu-Tang records. You're probably going to give me about 4 or 5 from Into the 36.
I ain't paying no damn Triumph. Tell you that right now.
Nah, I don't expect Triumph from you.
Paying no damn Triumph.
I think you're probably going to get me like 4 or 5. All right, half of it's going to be Only Built for Cuban Links and 36.
Duh.
I think we're going to probably get 2 from Liquid Swords. 3?
Everything else getting one-offs really after the Purple Tape and Into the Wu-Tang if you really want to know.
I mean, you definitely got to play Shimmy and you got to play Brooklyn too.
I don't have to do anything. Got records.
You might want to.
Got records. No
I got the Chronic, Doggy Style, and All Eyes on Me.
I ain't worried.
I mean, that's pretty much.
It's Wu-Tang forever.
I got.
Everything that I've been saying my whole life, Mike, it's been leading up to this moment.
How you think I'm going to start it off? Who's going first?
I said hip-hop.
You know what?
I said real hip-hop. wins and not that glossy happy stuff, and this is my chance to prove it.
Do we have any coins in the building? Because I want to flip a coin and see who goes first.
Going down. See what I got.
Do we have any change in here?
Changing the car.
So we can flip a coin and go ahead and see who's going first and second. We can go ahead and get this out the way now. You know what I mean? 21 tracks. We're going to have the people in the building. Who y'all got in this situation? Y'all got Wu-Tang or Death Row? I think I finally got.
That's what happened when you become estranged.
I think I'm finally the favorite. I normally take.
No. Death Row should be the favorite.
Yeah, I think I found.
You got the
I
big
never
records.
take the favorite. I never take the favorite.
You took Public Enemy. You didn't think Public Enemy was a favorite over Rakim?
No, I don't think so. I thought I was under the gun on that one.
Okay, I felt that was maybe more of a draw.
Okay,
but you should.
Rakim is Rakim.
Like like if this was like a game, the point spread should probably be like so let's say you get 3 points for a home field, and so let's say this is an even field, so I'd probably give you like 4 or 5 points. You probably like have a 4.5 spread advantage on this, but you're going down.
You got I'll Be There For You and Bring the Pain.
I do.
I'm expecting all those records.
I got Supreme Clientele.
Trying to think of how I want to start this off though, because for me, it's about starting and closing, right? And everything else in the middle just kind of comes. I mean, I feel like, with Future's catalog, I was able to beat somebody like Drake. That was a tall order.
No, those are like 2 home run hitters who don't hit 300 too often going up against each other. It's a little McGuire and Sosa going on.
I'm not even going to lie, man. I felt all right, well, one of the big things that I had going against me.
How's their music age to you? I didn't get a chance to listen to the station head. How did the record sound? Outside of like the obvious like Mask Off, March Madness, the Motto.
I mean, their music aged fairly well. Okay. Like I said, Karate Chop was kind of a surprise to me when I played that. It didn't sound like I thought it was going to sound in my head. But I do think that both of those guys were able to do a lot with their catalogs. Drake, especially, man, he has a vast catalog. It's very impressive. Mm-hmm. And but I did feel like I was running out of gas with my picks. And one of the big things about Future's catalog is a lot of his stuff's not on streaming platforms. And so I was kind of under the gun with that. You know what I mean? And, for the people in the chat that are saying that, oh, Mike didn't play all the deep, Future records. Yeah, a lot of that stuff's not on streaming platforms, so I couldn't. But with what I did have, I think I did pretty good, though. I don't know, man. I think you could be the advantage person here because you have more albums to pick from.
I have better songs.
I don't know about better songs per se, but you have more quality albums to pick from. I have The Chronic. I have Doggy Style. I have All Eyes on Me. Machiavelli's a Death Row album. And I have Dog Food. Those are the 5 albums I have.
I'm going to tell you what, Mike. You just have no idea? I'm going to ruin your gangster party on Friday. There'll be no gangster parties.
Gangster party.
There'll be no gangster parties on Friday. There'll be no gangster parties. I have a specific game plan. I've been waiting for this moment. I have a game plan. Going down.
Your game plan is going to be the hardcore records. I already know.
No. See, my game plan.
Oh, got a coin.
Coins falling out the sky.
Coins. Appreciate that. See, this is what happens when you're on set. Heads or tails?
Always the head, never the tail.
All right. It's tails. You want to go first?
Nah, you go first.
Hey, I win either way. That's what I was going to pick.
No, I want you to go first.
Okay, cool. All right.
I'm going to take an advantage on you very, very early. I'm going to take advantage of you. You don't understand what's about to happen to you yet. Mm-hmm. Because I know what you're going to do.
All right. So we're going to this best group conversation.
That's Wu-Tang, too.
That is Wu-Tang. Mm-hmm. You and I briefly went over like a few attributes that, the best group categories should have. Yeah. Let's pull up some of those so we can kind of, run somebody through it. I thought about it, man, and I was having a conversation. You and I got into a somewhat heated discussion on Monday about, women in hip hop.
Yes.
And I thought about it.
Men in the chat need to grow up. Meant what I said on Monday. Need to grow up.
Salt and Pepper. Are Salt and Pepper and City Girls the only female rap groups to have more than 2 or 3 albums?
That I can think of Yes.
So we got to give City Girls props, and everybody wild out when the City Girls got put ahead of Black Star.
Mike, City Girls up 10,000. Right.
Yeah.
City Girls up.
I mean, the fact that they're a group and they're still together, got to give them props for that, right?
Definitely have an impact.
Because we don't have a lot of women in hip hop in groups.
We don't have a lot of comfortable spaces to let those things happen. So
let me see. I think the Billboard probably already put their list out there too. But I want to put people like 8 Ball and MJG through some type of rubric. And
but what, okay, so when we were doing yes, we went impact, live performance, lyrics, classics, classic songs, longevity of albums, songs, production.
Okay. I think that works. Is that an odd number?
No, that's 8.
That's 8. You think we should take away something or add something?
Longevity of albums.
Longevity of albums? You want to take that out?
Yeah, I think the longevity thing is the thing that skews the metric the most.
Right.
Because it's pretty much saying if you were older and your shit was great first, you're going to win.
Right.
So that would probably be the one.
Well, Billboard has released its number 30 through 21. You want to hear it?
No, but it's our job. So
it's our job, yes. Let's see. Number 30. She guys. Clips. Number 30. All time. How do you feel about that?
Mike, how do you feel about that?
I feel like that's about right.
You think there are 29 groups better than the Clips, Mike?
Let me think about that. 25, 20-ish. Yeah, I think Clips could be top 20. Let's see what else is here.
Hold on. Objectively, they're top 20 pretty easy.
Would you put Clips over Dog Pound?
Yes.
Okay, I would too.
Hold on. Let me ask you something. Dog Food or Hell Hath No Fury?
Hell Hath No Fury.
And what the hell Dog Pound got for the first album or the album after Hell Hath No Fury?
No, that's facts.
All right.
Gangstar, 29.
Just finish the list.
What do you think about that?
I'm no longer invested in them.
Ghetto Boys, 28. Migos must really be down here.
Who number 10? Crucial Conflict?
Right. DJ Jeff and DJ Jazzy Jeff, excuse me, and the Fresh Prince, 27.
They made one good album, Mike.
Yeah, they shouldn't be this low.
And
I love them.
Will Smith got the Fresh Prince because he was broke because the second album bombed and was hanging out at Arsenio Hall's set and got offered the show like his rap career was over.
I don't think you could justifiably put them ahead of the Clips. EPMD, 26.
I'm not even an EPMD fan like that, and that's absurd too. Mike.
Whoa.
The disrespect coming?
Yeah, the Hot Boys, 25. All right. That's all Wayne. You know that's all Wayne.
And you want me to respect this
And that's
list.
all revisionist history,
you want me to
too.
respect this list?
Because if Wayne didn't become who he is, they wouldn't even register the Hot Boys like this. They said in the late 90s Southern rap renaissance conversation isn't complete without paying homage to the Hot Boys. Their 1999 sophomore album, Guerrilla Warfare, peaked at number 1 on the Billboard top R&B and hip-hop charts. Blah, blah, blah. But before then, their debut independent album, Get It How You Live, via Cash Money Records, dominated locally, selling 400,000 copies, establishing the trio's undeniable chemistry. They're not a trio. Although the group disbanded in 2001, only 4 years following their formation, the influence of their sound and later success of Lil Wayne and Juvenile as solo stars changed the trajectory of rap music forever. Now, listen. No. Juvenile's solo career changed everything for Cash Money before Guerrilla Warfare came out.
First of all,
So that's not even in order.
It's not. In Guerrilla Warfare, I don't think people forget. Guerrilla Warfare is the end of the era for them.
It is.
That's the last dope project that collective made together. And half of that album, if I'm not mistaken, 7 of that tracks from that 16-track album, Mike, came from the original one.
Exactly.
They just remade 6 of the tracks.
Yeah.
They just remade the tracks on Get It How You Live, right? Like 6 or 7 of them were redone, right? Like the first single, We On Fire.
Yep.
That's a remake. We all down here. We've been listening to We On Fire since like
97, probably.
6, 7? Yeah, 96, 97? Right.
Yeah. Number 26, The Diplomats. Yeah, that's over Clips and all of them. You know, here's a problematic pick. 23, Sugar Hill Gang. Now, I don't think it's fair to groups like the Clips that somebody, and Gangstar too, that a group like Sugar Hill Gang.
They got Gangstar behind the Hot Boys.
Yeah, behind the Hot Boys and the Sugar Hill Gang.
Do these people that be making this list go out into the street, Mike?
Probably not.
Because when I be out in the street, man, people be like, hey, Coop, I heard what you said, nigga. I be like, what?
Where's number 22? I think my signal just went out.
I think that might be best for everybody.
No, I want to see the suspense. Okay, the Locks are 22.
I was just thinking about them because I knew that they were going to do the Diplomats, and I knew they were about to put the Locks slightly ahead because they kept through them that fade. But what they don't understand, by putting the Locks and the Diplomat close, you apparently didn't watch what we watched. It's not close.
I don't like the fact that they're elevating the Locks because of the Diplomats.
I think the Locks is a top 20 group, Mike, so I think they're actually still too low.
Why do you think they're a top 20 group?
Well, actually, you want to know what I was thinking about?
Based on their group efforts, I can't say that. I don't know.
Their group efforts are better than DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. Their group efforts are better than the Hot Boys.
Okay, I'm with that.
You know what I mean?
They're better than them.
Yeah.
Bone Thugs and Harmony at 21.
That's too low for Bone.
That is too low.
Bone's top 10-ish. Thuggish, ruggish Bone.
Yeah.
They're top 10-ish.
At least top 15.
They're a top 15 group. They are. To have them outside the top 15 is disrespectful to them. It is. They like that. Like, how about this? Me personally, do I think the Clips are better than Bone? Yes. Would I put them ahead of Bone? No.
I think the Clips have an argument, though. I mean, Bone was just big.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
They were just big.
And transcended.
And so this is why I just changed our 7th category, Mike, because I realized this rap matters for groups, and we might have to change some stuff about our rubric with the male MC too. Mike, I think what your peak run looks like matters.
Yeah.
And how long the peak run was. You know, because
how big you were, yeah.
And how big you were. It's like, for whatever we want to say about EPMD and how we're not like super big fans of them, it's like, you know, Mike, for about 2-3 years, they was the shit to everybody.
And they changed things.
And that matters.
They brought the funk in the game.
And they got everybody wearing bucket hats.
Yeah. That matters.
That matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jay Short with the super chat says
Clips don't have what EPMD have in that regard.
It's true.
So if you were to tell me you have EPMD ahead of the Clips or Bone ahead of the Clips about those things, I understand.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, I got you. I'm fair. That's fair.
Yes.
I also would say Clips are ahead of the Locks, in my opinion, as a group.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Like, they made Hell Hath No Fury.
I think what we do with the Locks, and I get it because
Jada kissing Styles instead of the Locks. We Jada kissing Styles.
We sparse out their solo accomplishments.
Right.
Yeah.
It's Jada
and
Styles.
kind of make it a collective, but it's not that. Like,
but you want to know what? They of all the groups, it's funny, them and Clips have this in common. It's like, I think when people think of them, and this is more so the Locks because it's New York, those mixtapes, Mike.
Oh yeah, the mixtapes.
The Locks mixtapes, they matter to people when they're thinking about the Locks, because for a lot of people, especially up top, the Locks kept the hardcore hip hop alive for so long for them via those mixtapes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That matters to people. And so the albums may not be there, Mike, but much like, and this is why I do have the Clips ahead of the Locks, it's like, well, the mixtape games are comparable. The album game is not comparable. Clips are better album makers. Yeah. And it's like Pusha T and Jada Kiss, comparable. Do I think Styles is better than Malice? Yeah, but people forget, like, Malice for their first 2-3 albums was just as good as Push.
I thought he was better than Push.
He's better than Push on Lord Willin'.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jay Short with the super chat says,
I don't Hell Hath No Fury.
When was it decided that Wu-Tang was better than P.E.? I like Wu, but P.E. is just as respected. It has more classic songs and albums. P.E.'s lyrics were changing public policy. Listen, Jay Short, you're not going to get an argument from me. I think P.E. could be the greatest hip-hop group
I'm
ever.
not going to argue about that per se, but what I will tell you is that
as a group, I got P.E. ahead of Wu-Tang. We're talking about album for album.
So you're just talking about albums.
Yeah.
They're not a better group than Wu-Tang, Mike, because the only thing that you have is albums. They're going to lose everything else. That's what I'm saying.
If we're just talking about songs from the group, I ain't talking about Method Man solo stuff. I'm not talking about Raekwon solo stuff. I'm talking about group stuff. Well, and we have to compare the catalogs from Yo Bum Rush the Show and beyond to Into the 36, Wu-Tang Forever, The W, Iron Flag, and those things.
Here's the problem that you have. You know what I'm saying? and you know this, and here's where Wu-Tang sparks an interesting conversation. Well, Mike, some of their best posse cuts, some of the best Wu-Tang songs aren't on Wu-Tang albums, but those are still group member songs. And respectfully, P might have more notable hits, I think, maybe than Wu-Tang.
Mm-hmm.
But Mike, if we just talking about group work and the quality of records, like as in like, I'm not talking about the albums, damn the albums, Mike. I'm talking about like a record like Guillotine and Wu Gambinos and Ice Cream. Public Enemy gonna get their ass destroyed, Mike. Stop playing with me.
Whoa.
They don't have enough records to go with.
See, you know what? You gonna make me.
Hold on, Mike.
You gonna make me put Public Enemy in Death Row's place.
You can, Mike. You're going to lose way worse if you do.
No.
You're going to lose worse. If you go pick Public Enemy instead of Death Row, I'm going to wax you.
What should I do, y'all?
I'm going to wax you.
I'm going to win either way.
No, you're not. Mike, and I'll give you a caveat to help you out, and I'll pick Wu-Tang Posse records, and I will wax that ass,
So
Mike.
you just want Wu-Tang Posse records
I will wax
Public
you.
Enemy.
Mike, I'm beating everybody with Wu-Tang Posse records. What you got for what Public Enemy got for Ice Cream, Mike?
What Public Enemy you got for Ice Cream? Seriously?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
What they got for Protect Your Neck?
Welcome to the Terror Dome. I got Fight the Power. I got records.
And after you're done with those, what are you going to do, Mike? I still got Buck 50. I got Wu Banger 101. That's just on Supreme.
You're trying to egg me on.
I got investigative, Mike. I got investigative reports. I got Fourth Chamber. I got Shadowbox. I will wax that ass. I got Duel of the Iron Mike. I got Daytona 500. I got Iron Maiden. I got Guillotine. I will wax that ass, Mike.
You know what? I'm gonna stick to the plan. I'm gonna still do Death Row,
Mike.
you're trying to egg me on,
Mike. After I beat Death Row with the whole catalog, Mike, we can do the Wu-Tang and Public Enemy Paxi cut, and I'll wax you back to back. Death Row and Public Enemy can catch these hands.
You do not want that.
Catch these hands, Mike. They don't have enough.
So you think they would beat Tribe too?
They don't have enough records, Mike.
So you think they would beat Tribe too?
If you let me pick Wu-Tang Posse cut records, as in records that have 3 or more on them, nobody's winning.
Okay.
What have you been listening to?
You feel the same way about Tribe too?
What part of nobody's winning?
Okay. Now that one I really take.
Tribe in more trouble than Public Enemy, Mike. You keep making things worse. You going from Death Row to Public Enemy to Tribe. It's like loss, big loss, ass whooping.
Okay. Well, you know what? Like I said, we'll stick to the program.
Hold on, Mike. For real, if you play them Tribe records against them Wu-Tang records, it's going to start sounding like I'm bullying you on the show.
No, it won't.
You don't have nothing for Wu-Tang Clan, ain't nothing to fuck with. You don't have nothing for no chest boxing, no Protect Your Neck. Tribe records ain't slapping like that.
No scenarios, huh?
You going to win 1 or 2 of those. I got... No, Mike. I'm just going to the purple tape.
Critical Mass with the super chat says, chemistry should be a criteria for groups. I like that.
I like that. So
Thank you, Critical Mass.
No, that's great. So we got impact, live performance, lyrics, classic albums, classic songs, production, peak run, and
chemistry.
How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We back to 8 again.
I think we should take one out.
What do you want to take out?
I think chemistry is really important.
I think chemistry is important.
Go through them again.
Impact, live performance.
Okay.
Lyrics. We'll take the live out because some of the numbers are past.
I love live performance. Yeah, because we're just judging by their heights. But I'm saying I think impact and that peak thing is like
the same
similar.
thing.
So we can kind of bring those two together.
Okay. That sounds good.
They said voices for group criteria. Nah. I think that can go into the chemistry part of it.
Talking about some Wu-Tang. Dude.
Man.
I don't know what you heard, Mike. You don't want to do that to these other guys.
Well, you know what? Look, we're going to start with Death Row and Wu-Tang. And once I walk you down on that, then,
No, Mike, see, that's what I'm saying. It's like I'm comfortable, and this is why Wu-Tang's the greatest group ever. I'm going to show everybody when I beat you both times is that, no, I don't think you understand. I'm about to beat you. I'm about to beat Death Row with a lot of Wu-Tang solo records, but then I will pull up and beat Public Enemy with the Posse records. It's like, no. Wu-Tang can beat you any way you want to be beaten. How you want to be beat? Mike, how you like to take your L? Can I interest you in a little All That I Got Is You and Bring the Pain and Brooklyn Zoo and Incarcerated Scarfaces to whoop that ass? Can I interest you in a little Ice Cream and Wu Gambinos and Wu-Tang Clan Ain't Nothing to Fuck With and Protect Your Neck to beat that ass? But anyway you want to get that ass whoop, Wu-Tang.
We'll let the music speak. We got people in here talking about Triumph will smash award tour. Y'all
first of all,
wow,
need to play Triumph, but it stands for we usually take another nigga's garments. That's what's going to happen. If you play these guys, you said Public Enemy. It's like, oh, no, Mike, I'm sorry. After about song number 10, you in trouble.
Jay Short with the super chat says, Coop, Wu may be more lyrical, but this isn't a math equation.
No,
what else Wu got over Public Enemy? And you act like Chuck isn't a GOAT rapper. Yeah, Chuck's top 15.
No. Chuck, okay, that's right. And they got about 4 guys like that. What are we talking about?
Oh, Chuck D.
No. Like, as far as like their ranking, they have about 4 guys with comparable skill sets that operate on the level he does, and you know that. It's not an argument.
Suckers never played me.
I'm not saying you're not gonna win some records, Mike.
I'm gonna win a lot. Because you know what I got? I got It Takes a Nation. And when you got an album like that,
I have Into the Wu-Tang. You just got canceled out. That's what I'm saying. And you don't have nothing.
I don't think that's a cancel out.
It is honestly a cancel out. It is. Those are both top 10 rap albums, Mike.
I think It Takes a Nation's a better album than.
If it is, it's by a split.
36.
Mike, if it is, it's just about the content. The song's not that much better.
Well,
Into the Wu-Tang. What's the weakest song on Into the Wu-Tang, Mike?
It's a good question.
Right. There ain't one.
You know, the first thing that came to mind was like Tears, actually, but I don't think it is.
That's not a weak song. That's a great song.
No, it is. Into the 36 is great.
Seventh Chamber?
I think it might be Seventh Chamber, actually.
That's what I'm saying, Mike. Listen to that record. That's the worst record on there. You in trouble.
Man, I'm telling you.
I ain't even bought up Shame on the Nigga.
Do you want to go album for album like that? Or you want to go It Takes a Nation
No.
versus 36? Or what are you trying to do?
No.
Whatever you trying to do.
No. What I'm saying is that album-wise, Public Enemy. Everything else Wu-Tang. Everything else Wu-Tang, Mike. Including quality of records from top to bottom. And I'm not talking solo material. I'm talking about if you're talking about some group work. Most of their best group work is still on the solo albums. But if you go let me pull those songs, it's like, yeah, Public Enemy going down, Mike. Everybody going down.
All right. Well, y'all join us Friday for that on our station head.
Can I play Verbal Intercourse too?
Well, I mean, I already know you're going to play Verbal Intercourse.
I don't need to play Verbal Intercourse to beat Death Row, Mike.
Yeah, you're going to play Verbal Intercourse.
Actually, it's not part of my list yet, Mike. I don't need to play Verbal Intercourse to beat you.
But yeah, we're going to pull up here like we usually do on a Friday. We'll probably talk about that Killer Mike real quick, and then we'll jump into the station head and just jam out and, watch Death Row wax Wu-Tang real quick, respectfully.
How do
you want to talk about this Static Selector before we get out of here?
How does it feel? Yeah.
Static Selector came with some heat.
Are we talking Ransom right quick, too? We giving them
you
both
know
some
what?
run?
I do want to talk some Ransom. Which one do you want to talk?
We need to talk both. We need to finish up the wrap-up on the Static Select because we had some thoughts about it. I think we need to give that a few minutes and have a little trapped in the 90s conversation and then kind of run into the Ransom to get out of here.
Well, I loved everything about that Static Selector project, and I just don't understand why, more of our 90s hip-hop fans who love that aesthetic, why he doesn't get praised like he should. So a little backstory, Friday when I was listening to the album, I was actually in the barbershop, and they had the TV on, and they were playing like 90s hip-hop records on the TV. And niggas was like, oh, that's my shit back then, this and that. While I'm sitting here listening to the Static Selector, and I'm like, there's actually new music out that gives you this feeling. But my thing is it about the music or is it about the nostalgia when it comes to the 90s hip-hop fan? Because if it's about the music, people can go get that Static or listen to that Static Selector right now. You got the AZs of the world on it. It got Elzai on it. It got great MCs on there. Production's dope.
The pairings are amazing. I think Static and Joey have a great collaborative. Like the Cormega with MOP.
Yeah.
The Elzai with Boldy, keeping it Detroit with the Royce sample.
Yeah.
Like, no. What I liked about what Static is doing is that he's trying to feed this bass.
Yeah.
Mike, this bass is our generation. We just don't listen, Mike.
He needs to do the next Hip Hop 50. I know we kept asking which producer needs to do the next Hip Hop 50.
Right.
It needs to be Static Selector.
And you want to know what, though? This is what I mean. Like, I hate to say it, Mike. Our generation, man, we all talking no muscle with it. We talk about this era that we love so much.
And it could be right in your face.
It do be right in the face. No, because somebody really said something startling to me, and it's what made me think about It's Dark and Hell is Hot, because I really did realize, like, well, hold up. No, them boom bap albums wasn't going multi-platinum.
They weren't.
Doggy Style ain't no boom bap album, but Illmatic is. You feel me? The Chronic ain't no boom bap album, but fucking The Infamous is. How are those albums selling? And so it does bring into a question, does this demographic that claims to love this type of music, has they ever really supported it? Mike, why G-Rap ain't never went platinum?
Yeah.
Why Cool G Rap ain't never went platinum since you niggas love this hardcore street and hip hop? So
it's a trick, you know. People will go out there and tell you what they love.
It's not. I don't even think it's a trick, Mike. I think it's just a straight up lie. I think
like
niggas
you
is
say
lying.
You love this to save face, but you really over here picking up doggy style.
Right. And it's like, oh no. You say you don't fuck with Drake, but every time you go pick up your girl in the car, it's Drake and Future on. You ain't playing no Esco, no Hove.
Yeah.
You lying.
Yeah, niggas is probably playing more Drake than they like to admit.
You capping. You in the A, Mike?
Yeah.
Oh, you coming to pick a girl up? You think you playing Nas or you playing Lil Baby?
I ain't picking no chick up. You know, right
I mean,
now,
you not, Mike. I'm not
trying to.
Mike, first of all, like to apologize to Dana.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't want no smoke, Mike. I know she watches the show. Like to apologize to Dana. Dana, I'm sorry. So, I'd like to say that I'm sorry. If it helps you any, Dana.
But yeah, if you were going to pick up a chick.
I'm not seeing anybody either, Dana. I won't be picking any chicks up either. All right? Me and Mike. Because quite frankly, I don't want none of these women out here either. I've been in Atlanta too long. I'd like to apologize to Dana and all parties involved. Back to the show. Mike, what I'm trying to say is that you know when I was saying earlier about how rappers flex?
Yeah.
This is the era where that flexing really took place. And these are the fans. And these fans are flex, Mike.
Yeah.
These are the people that it's like, no, want Nas to make Illmatic again. That 300,000 selling in 1 year album. They want people to make The Infamous. They want people to make like all these hardcore boom bap classics. They ain't even fucking platinum the first year they came out. Yeah. Something wrong with that.
When Premier did the Hip Hop 50 project, people didn't jump behind that like you would think they would based off of their talk. Like, where's that Nas and Primo project at? Well, it's like they got a song out there that you're not listening to.
I had a talk with the plug about that. She like Coop. She was like, if niggas love Nas and Preem so much, why didn't they pick up the Preem Hip Hop is 50 project?
Yeah. And for somebody of a different generation, they really don't understand that. Like somebody who didn't grow up in the 90s and they hear people talk about the 90s, and when they get something like that, they're really confused. Like, didn't you just get what you wanted?
Because this is what I mean about the flex is like, oh, you want it, but you really don't want it anymore. You're just lying. Yeah. Like you're lying. Like you moved on too. It's like you want Nas and Primo to do Nas is like.
But you're not listening to that now anyway.
But you're not listening to Nas is like now anyway. So why don't you stop lying? Remember I was telling you, Mike, it's like, oh, I don't be listening to this shit. I spent my whole life listening to that shit.
You know what people will do too? And Charlemagne does this a lot. He'll say, if somebody does something like that, he'll be like, that sounds dated. Or, you know what I mean? Or something to those. Like, I think that's dangerous to even do that. You know what I mean?
I used to respect him.
Because it's disingenuous. Because it's like you're trying to find something to say about anything.
He just too Hollywood now, Mike. Let's just call it what it is. No. He just real Hollywood. He says things like people forget, and this is what I mean. You had to be there for this, Mike. You know, first of all, he used to provide like really in-depth, thought-out analysis and insight when he used to step to the mic. And now it's just a bunch of bullshit when he be talking. It is. He don't know what he talking about, Mike. And he doesn't. And this is what I'm saying. We got to stop letting people like him ascend to certain heights and thinking that he get to audit the culture differently as he ascends. Because as he's ascended, he started to audit things differently. It's like, no, we've been here. I've been saying the same shit for 3 years over here.
Yeah.
It's like, cut that happy shit off. Nas is the greatest MC of all time. Jay is second. Andre's overrated. Big Boy's the man. I've been saying the same shit.
I can't believe we're saying Andre's overrated.
Kanye last album, whack. Kendrick last album, whack. I'm consistent, Mike.
I wonder what people are going to say about this Killer Mike song with Dre.
Important albums.
Yeah.
The Donda albums. No, them albums whack.
I like Donda personally.
It's not
Jay
good.
Short with the super chat says, the way you guys feel about Static is the way I felt about Black Moon Rising album a few years ago. The second best album and no one cared.
See? Talking about Into the Stage?
Nah. He's talking about Black Moon Rising. What album is that, Jay Short?
This is what I mean about like people say that they love it, but they really don't support it. It's like, no, let's start asking ourselves some questions. How much did Enter the Stage do?
Right.
How much did Smith & Wesson's The Shining do?
Yeah.
How much did OC's Word Life do?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How much did J. Rue the Damage as the Sun Rises in the East do?
Right.
I'm pretty certain that Gangstar's first gold plaque is Moment of Truth. Now, Mass Appeal came out in fucking 1992. You feel me?
But
94.
Yeah, I got you.
Shit, still too. Oh, that is 94. Yeah. I'm thinking about Dwick. Dwick is 92.
Yeah, they've been around.
Yeah. So it's like when you're saying that you love this stuff, it's like, why don't you buy it then?
Honestly, Moment of Truth almost felt like a comeback album for them.
It was a comeback album.
For us, we were younger at the time. They were an old group. You know what I'm saying?
You know what's funny? Primo's greatness with Jay, Nas, and Big kind of made people feel like Guru was retired.
Exactly.
Guru's like, nigga, I'm not retired.
Yeah,
my producer is giving other people beats. I'm making jazzmatazz.
Exactly.
It's like, let's get back in the studio. But in fairness to Preem, and I've always told people this, it's like, oh, no. He gave Guru his best shit.
He did.
He gave Guru his best shit.
He gave his best stuff to the group.
He did.
And that says a lot.
It does.
Because he gave some great shit all around.
Because them beats on Moment of Truth, they better than the beats he gave Nas on Illmatic. They better than the beats he gave Jay on Reasonable Doubt. And it's better than shit that he gave Big on Ready to Die in Life After Death.
He's giving Jay some heat, man. To me,
he's giving them all heat, but not like Moment of Truth.
and The Evils are incredible.
See, I think differently. See, I feel like Big is the one that got the heat the most between the three of them.
Really?
As far as like quality of the beats, but I think that's about Biggie's voice. I think because of Biggie's voice, Preem had to always do something different because of Big voice-wise. Whereas like Nas is your classic plug-and-play traditional hip-hop. I can just give him a dope hip-hop beat, let him go. Jay is very insightful, so I can give him a broader landscape, something more quirky. But with Big, it's like Unbelievable and 10 Crack Commandments and Kick in the Door. They thud in a way that the Jay and Nas records don't. They don't.
Now, one thing I would say about this Static Selector project.
Go play 10 Crack Commandments next to 1,000,001 Questions and watch how like just sonically it dwarfs the beat down. Yeah.
What I will say about this Static Selector album is the fact that I think it might have been too long. That's my criticism. I think it kind of veered off towards the end. It started off incredibly strong.
It did.
I like him and Joey Badass together, man.
I didn't love the Joey record, Mike.
You didn't? Okay.
I know a lot of people are talking about it and enjoying it, and a lot of people feel like it's the best record on the album, but I just wasn't.
What did you think was the best record on the album?
That's why I'm pulling it up, because I've been playing it a couple times, and this is one of the things, too. When you do this style of hip-hop, I can see how it gets old to people quick, even if it's quality.
Because somebody in the chat said it was boring. You know what I mean?
That's what I mean about it getting. I like the historic with Ransom and AZ. I think the different league with Benny is where he made the McHale and Bird comment about him and Conway, if I'm not mistaken. That Can't Stop with Stove is probably my favorite.
That's my favorite song on there.
I love Stove, though. You know how I feel about Stove.
Right. Jay Short with the super chat says, Black Moon released a great album with the Beat Miners a few years ago.
Yep.
Couldn't even find a review. Andre versus Big Boy features next.
I'm with that. But both of us taking Big Boy, though. So
I'll take Dre.
No, it's
Dre's
cool.
my guy.
Mike. I mean, and this is what I mean about how people don't support it. It's like, well, actually, Mike, technically, the best record on here is the first single. The Wu-Tang record, Mike.
Oh, yeah.
The Wu record is actually the best joint on here, Mike. Yeah.
Yeah, that record's pretty strong.
Yeah, it's Ghost Ray Deck and Meth. That's what I'm saying, Mike. And you want Chuck D and Tribe Called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
I ain't got no problem with that.
Yeah. Okay.
No problems over here.
Mike, Wu-Tang Records bully people, including Public Enemy. Public
You know
Enemy
what?
can get bullied too.
I doubt that, man.
Yes, they can.
Sonically, it's almost impossible.
No, RZA can. That's what I'm saying. RZA's the one person that can bully them sonically.
Who did we do when you had Wu? I think it was the Dungeon Family. Dungeon Family got bullied.
Mike, you about to get bullied because I'm gonna tell you something. You had clearly the superior production against Rakim, and I still almost faded you. It's like, no. I got some. I have the better production this time. Like, I actually have the better beats this time. You're understating.
Man.
No. But what I'm saying is, listen. Okay, look at it like this, Mike. With Wu-Tang, I have the modern day production comp for what Public Enemy provides aesthetically and sound wise.
No, that's real.
But Mike, lyrically, talking about Chuck D and Rakim, it's like, no, I got guys that compete with them, but they in one crew. You're not gonna win, Mike. I'm just trying to tell you. I'm just letting you know, because I know what you're thinking about, Mike. You're thinking about those records and how epic that they are. And what I'm trying to tell you is that Wu-Tang has about just as many epic records, but we're gonna start having a quality battle, Mike, and I'm gonna fade you on the last 10. Like the first 10, you might even win the first 10, but you're not winning the last 10, Mike.
How about this?
You might
because you got a lot of people you're dealing with. So, how do you feel about NWA, everybody included, versus Wu? So I mean, I can use Cube, I could use Dre. I could use Easy.
Like use the catalog? Mm-hmm. Ooh, that's fascinating. Because you know how I feel about Cube. Because I think Cube, how about this? Well, how about this? Ice Cube is ranked higher than all of those guys for a reason because he's a better MC than everybody in Wu-Tang overall, top to bottom.
Overall, top to bottom, yeah.
So you have the best producer and the better MC. So that does give you an advantage. You know what I'm saying? Like you have the best MC and you have the best producer because it's like, well, if I'm picking somebody over RZA, guess who? Yep. And of all the guys that I name for as great as they are, it's like, how about this? I think Ray and Ghost all time are greater than Chuck D. But I don't think any of the guys from Wu-Tang all time are greater than Ice Cube.
Okay, fair.
So I think that would be a more fair matchup. But that's kind of going down that Death Row prequel hole too.
It is.
But that shows you how strong that West Coast shit is, Mike. There's a reason I wanted to talk to Glove. It's like, oh, no, Glove know a whole lot.
They made some of the best hip-hop music ever made.
No, how about this?
Straight up.
You could argue that they did, Mike, because for all this shit that I'm talking about Wu-Tang, I also told you I'm the what in this Death Row battle?
I mean, you're the underdog here, I guess. I mean, I don't even know if you're the underdog now, and I'm thinking about all the records.
Mike, but you have Doggy Style, The Chronic, and All Eyes on Me, and Dog Food. And Murder Was the Case, and Above the Rim.
Is Murder Was the Case on streaming platforms? I hope it is.
It is.
Oh, well, great. I
know, Mike, because I be playing What Would You Do?
Okay.
And Murder Was the Case.
Because I was looking for What Would You Do for a long time. I didn't find it.
Mike,
it's on there?
I play What Would You Do? What Would You Do? And Natural Born Killers, Mike? Oh, those get played weekly now.
Killers, okay. All right, cool.
That's what I'm saying is like, no, you should have the advantage because how about this? You have a record like Natural Born Killers, and it's like that might not even be in most people's top Death Row 20, but it's like the quality of the record is like shit. That might be top 5.
That shit crazy.
I told you that might be my favorite West Coast track, Mike. Like when that shit comes on, I'm like, I never ever made a hoe stay, but I'm down with Dre the way AC is down with OJ.
Jay Short with the super chat said, New York and LA 90s fans do the same thing. They really didn't like the music as much as they say.
Right.
It's more about repping the sound for their city and winning the hip hop culture war. I think it's more of a nostalgia thing. People are living in yesteryear. So I remember where I was when this hit. You know what I mean?
Why is Creeping on a Come Up by Bone in 1994 going triple platinum, but Illmatic selling 300,000 copies? You sure that you love that shit that you saying that you love? Because the numbers say that you love Thuggish, Ruggish Bone and for the love of money more.
Yeah. Jay Short with the super chat says, Coop, Chuck D's hero ain't on. Chuck D's heroes ain't on no stamp.
Yeah,
he got a letter from the government. He can't be bullied. It's true. Well, you know, I don't even want to go there.
No, that's what I'm saying. And you might win those 2 records, Mike. But you not winning 11.
I got 11.
No, you have no. You might have 15, but what I'm trying to say is that no. I got records that can beat some of those. Like, how about this? Most of Public Enemy's epic records, they can't be beat, but Wu-Tang can. That's why I'm saying some of those records that you're used to winning, you're not winning against Wu-Tang. Right?
You're trying to egg me on for this. We're gonna stick to the script. We're gonna do the Death Row thing.
That's fine.
And I'm going first.
Yep.
You want to talk about this Ransom before we get out of here? I know we're running low on time.
Yeah. Let's give Ransom some love before we get out of here, though, for making a great project.
Yeah, man.
I'd like to thank the people that notified us that he does follow and
shout
subscribe.
out to the people, man, because the people were on us to make sure that we got to this album, spoke to this album, and I definitely see why, man. He put on a lyrical display on this project, and as far as I'm concerned, lyricist of the year right now, and I do think the top 3 albums is definitely no particular order. Jay Skis, him, and Love. And Love's actually going to be here next week to do the interview.
Yeah, she had some scheduling conflict. She was supposed to pull up on us today, but hopefully we can get that worked out for next week. Shout out to Love, who has the album of the year, in my opinion. And I'll tell you this.
I'm going to go Skis, Love, Ransom right now.
I don't know if I have the Ransom in third yet, Mike.
Okay.
I love the first half of this project.
Yeah.
I don't think the second half keeps the momentum that the first half does. I will say this, for people that talk about how he doesn't really change his flow, I don't find that to be true. It's his voice that he doesn't change. And that's why it sounds that way. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like vocally, when he punches into the mic, he is frighteningly steady with the same pitch and the same tone. But he doesn't change his pitch. And so I'm saying pitch, like look at it like a pitcher. It's like, oh no, he's got a real mean slider that you go down the plate with. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you can't throw the slider every time and win the game. And so I think when people are talking about their flow, they're actually talking about his voice, because vocally he sounds remarkably the same every time. As in, there's no fluctuation of his vocal cords. So it's like what he's doing technically on the mic, I want him to start doing vocally on the mic as far as accentuating his voice. Jay is a master at it.
Yeah.
Mike. You know what I'm saying? He takes his voice, but he takes his voice and does different things based on what the track tells him to do. Or he might and do, you know what I'm saying? I want to hear more of that from Ransom, because I think that's the part where people aren't hearing how adapted his flow has become. But the project itself is solid. I didn't love the second half. I thought it was good. I do want to listen to it again.
Right.
If you want to say he's the lyricist of the year, I could see that. I still think Love's mic performance overall is better because the songs are better.
Okay. I'm going to go back and listen to all 3 projects because I've listened to them individually and isolated. But Ransom's pen work was just super impressive.
No, he's saying some stuff, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
And
he's doing a lot with words.
He is. You can tell Nas is his bar, because he even mentions it and references it on the album.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see he's ascending himself and putting himself in position to be respected in a certain sort of way. The bars are there, Mike.
What about Shay's appearance on there, man? Shay Noir on there. It's just Talib on there.
Let's talk about Talib right quick, Mike.
Yeah. I like what Talib's doing.
This is exactly what I was about to say. This is what I mean. People have to understand. Personally, our feelings ain't involved in it. Because I'm going to tell you what. Listen to what I'm about to say, Mike. These last few years, I don't know if Talib's ever sounded better or been a better MC.
Right. I think this Black Star project has reinvigorated him.
It has. Mike, the verse on Peppers, the Black Star project, this verse, I was like, Ransom showing out, but that Talib verse might be the best verse on the album. Talib stunting.
We got to do something with Talib's ranking. Because what he's doing this year last year, it's noteworthy.
No, he's 42, Mike.
He's 42?
He's ahead of Styles. He's fine.
He should be ahead of Styles. Who's ahead of him?
Doom and Beans.
Oh, that's right.
Too Short and 50.
Did that.
Yeah.
Too Short was sneaky.
Short the man.
Shout out to Short.
Short dog. But yeah, Ransom, another great project. And you know what Ransom has done? He's become frighteningly consistent. Mm-hmm. The thing that happens when you become frighteningly consistent is that he needs to create a project now that is going to stand out head and shoulders above the rest of the projects. Think when Conway did From a King to a God.
Right.
He needs that.
He can do it. I think he can do it.
I mean, it's there. This Wes Craven series, the 7 album, Mike. I mean, he's put in as much work as anybody in the game the last few years. He's obviously making up for lost time for some things that have happened and losing losing a lot, going through some of the things he went through personally. But he's back. He's back with a vengeance. I'm glad we got a chance to review the album. I can see how he continues to craft and grow and make himself better. But it's like, I keep saying it again, is like, well, at some point, Mike, you just got to make the records that people want to hear too. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I know you can feed your core and feed your audience, get your merch, sell your base. But for when he talks, how he wants to be treated in the upper echelon of MCs, it's going to have to be some different style of records, From a King to a God style coming in.
From the level that he's at and the ability that he's putting forth.
Right.
I think, that's the next move.
But I like him from the perspective that it's like, no, Ransom, like, no, Talib, come here. I've heard him on interviews be like, no, I would love to get a Nas joint. So it's like he's not afraid of anybody. He wants to step to the plate and show what he can do. But when put in those circumstances, Mike, he has to perform, because his verse with Talib is great, but you can tell Talib is the more agile MC.
Yeah. LP with the super chat says, Craven is stunting his growth. He needs to expand.
I think too often sometimes when you have a guy like Ransom who's so sharp lyrically, kind of like a la Black Thought, that your producer may try to fit your vocals too well instead of challenging you. That's why I like the Danger Mouse Black Thought pairing, because I'm like, oh no, I ain't never heard Thought rap over nothing like No Gold Teeth. And look what he did.
Who would you like to pair him with if you could pair him with anybody?
Okay, so I would want him to go the non-traditional hip-hop route, because he's a traditional hip-hop bars and beats lyricist type of MC. So I would...
The non-typical hip-hop song.
Non-typical rap song, right. No, I would like to see him do something funky, Mike, like work with somebody different, work with somebody bigger. I don't know exactly who that is right now, because I really...
What do you think about Eric Sermon?
I like that.
And I only say that because I'm thinking
funky.
Redman and funky. And
right.
Yeah.
Right. No. I like that. You know, that whole Toronto, Canadian, Buffalo, upstate Syracuse sound. It's like, no. We know that you can do that. Like, let's get a little something different.
Well, you know who my favorite guy in that chamber that you're talking about is right now. Conductor, man.
See, that's
Conductor shit is wild.
How about this? Like,
I think I'm gonna listen to Rome Streets.
I'm about to say you about to play Blow for Blow. I already know.
That shit's crazy.
How about this? But a record like Blow for Blow, like the beat, he does need more beats like that.
The other beat that Conductor did, Super Kick Party, man.
Oh, Super Kick Party's nasty.
Yeah.
It's nasty.
Now, if we're gonna go that route, let's get that dynamic.
Actually, Mike, you want to know where you need to go?
Alchemist. All right, I'm glad you didn't say that because we use Alchemist as the answer for everything.
Hit.
Oh, yeah.
Hit.
Yeah. Hit's dropping Friday, too, by the way.
Yeah, Surfer Ground, too. Shout out to Hit and his pops.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about that
Hit,
before
though,
we do our station
because Hit is proven with Nas is like, oh, no, I can do the boom back, but I can switch up the boom back forward to update your formula and make you sound fresher and newer.
I would like to see Hit
Ransom
and
could use some of that.
And shout out to Hit Boy, too, because niggas in Paris just went diamond.
Hey, yo. Think about this. This is what I mean. Oh, you don't think this is top 10 type of producer material? Jay's first Diamond Plaque, produced by Hit Boy. Nas's first Grammy, produced by Hit Boy. There are 1 and 2, right?
And he's not even in their generation.
They are 1 and 2, right?
Yeah.
Like, it don't matter how you toss it. That's our 1 and 2, right?
Yeah.
Now, who's the only guy to get one guy a Grammy? Who's the one guy to get the other guy a Platinum Plaque? So when I be pulling up and saying this man, Diamond Plaque, sorry. So when I'm saying he's a top 10 producer all time, you want some more evidence?
He's done it for, I mean, he did it in his era, but
just
he
got some more
actually
evidence.
reached back to a previous era.
Just got some more evidence. He's a top 10 producer all time.
Yeah, I think Hit Boy's top 10.
So he's got, hold on, how many producers in that top 10 have a Diamond Plaque? How many of them have a Grammy for executive producing the best rap album?
It's gotta be Kanye.
Right.
But yeah.
How many have executive produced best rap album that they didn't rap on? You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, no, he got a lot of shit a lot of people don't have now after this 3-4 year run. And this is what I keep trying to tell people. It's like, no, your legacy and your future can change in this game. A few albums, couple of moments. It's like, no. He forever has niggas in Paris. He forever gave Nas his first Grammy. He forever got this KD run with the and one Magic. Magic like the best and one of all time, Mike.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you made those 3 albums, and then he can be like, and I made Magic too.
Magic lets you know it wasn't a fluke.
Magic lets you know that he can do the stuff that Ransom needs to get done. Like, how about this? Imagine Ransom rapping over the Speechless beat. That's what I'm talking about. He needs something that's hip-hop, but it's got a little bit of a different feel to it.
Shout out to Ransom and Hit Boy. We would like for y'all to connect.
And he needs to
album.
challenge himself,
Just
like
saying.
a la Meet Joe Black on a beat. Like something you don't normally rap over.
Yeah.
Go do it. If you God level, go be God level.
Ransom and Hit Boy. We're putting it out there in the air right now.
You know, Hit follow us. I love the love Hit show us too. You know what I mean?
He's Hit's a real one, man.
Yeah.
And shout out to his pops too, man, who's a real one as well.
Yeah. I love seeing what he's
Glad
doing with
he
his
is
pops.
home. Welcome home.
Yeah, welcome home.
LP
OG.
LP with the super chat says Jansport J would give him a classic with soul.
I like Jansport J. That's a nice.
I like
pick.
Jansport J.
That's a nice little sneaky pick.
There's somebody else I'm thinking. It'll come to me in a second. But yeah, I like the Hit Boy and Ransom.
Well, Hit's already proven.
Yeah.
With Nas and with Benny, because keep in mind the Benny project's still about to drop, and he does have burden of proof with Benny too. That's what I'm saying is like, how about this? This is what I mean about testing yourself. Well, people may not love burden of proof the way that they should. Like, you know, we gave it a 4, but we were like, oh, we kind of expected more. But when I look back on it, it's like, no, Benny did One Way Flight.
Yeah, I think we might have, well, me specifically, I think I might have slept on burden of proof because it wasn't what I wanted at the time.
But Sly Green, One Way Flight, no. He got some stuff on there, and that's hit too. So it's like, no, he's done Benny, he's done Nas. It's like, you are that type of New York upper echelon lyricist bar type of MC. Has he fashioned
do you
yourself
think
to be?
he could do something with the backseat freestyle beat and stuff like that? Like if Hit was to get in that bag, you think Ransom could pull those off?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what needs to happen. We need to see that challenge from him occur.
Somebody said it in the chat. Apollo Brown is what I was thinking. I could see him working with it. It's not
going to be,
but it'd be kind of more soulful, of the same.
But it's more of the same. It's just it's going to be. How about this? It's going to be a little bit more soulful instead of dark, but it's still probably going to be a little dark. Like the Apollo Brown and Stolly joint was hard and the production was great. Yeah. But Ransom kind of already exists in that sphere a little bit anyway. I'm talking about up in the ante a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hit is kind of that middle ground for guys where it's like
it's good middle
you're
ground.
not going too mainstream, but you're not going too boom bap. Hit can do it all.
Right. He can do it all.
And he's proven that.
Right. So if you're trying to step your game up into the upper echelon, wouldn't you want a producer who can do it all for you and bring it to fruition?
Yeah.
Because it's like, and here's the thing that's happened with Hit now too. Well, about working with Nas and about what he's done for Nas, well, you can't say, well, Hit don't know how to bring out the best in an artist.
Yeah.
It's like, no, he brought out the best in the greatest MC of all time. Kind of on you now, fam.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's like, no. When you walk into the studio with Hit Boy now, it's like, it's on you now, right? Not on Hit.
Looks like Benny might have the album of the year in the wings then.
I told you.
Based on everything we're saying.
I told you when you told me, I was like, based on this year so far, he should have album of the year when it drops. And if it doesn't, I'm going to treat it like it's a disappointment.
Whatever it is. Well, Friday, we're getting Killer Mike. Friday, we're doing the Death Row and Wu-Tang Station Head.
Mike, you getting these Wu-Tang hands on Friday.
And Saturday, we got the Block Party.
Block Party's going to be live, man. I'm excited.
Give them a little bit more information about it before we get out of here.
Yeah, of course. This Saturday from 1 to 5, A2HH is hosting a block party down at 1959 Metropolitan Avenue. Me and Mike D going to be in the building. People are actually getting used to seeing us regularly together.
Yeah.
I've seen Mike more in the past month than I've seen Mike through the whole pandemic.
And some.
Right. But shout out to my man LT. We got the live performances. We got the live DJ.
Can't wait to see
shout
everybody.
out to Sequoia and High Spirits for helping me behind the scenes and just being a friend, the confidant, and everything between. Sequoia's just really lifted me up high while I've been going through a lot of things personally with family passing and just, just feeling some things and going through some things. So shout out to her. High Spirit's going to be in the building. Me and Mike D going to be in the building. It's going to be food, going to be drinks, going to be us, going to be hip-hop, going to be music. It's going to be a good time. And, and not to, rain on anybody else's parade, but all these places that are doing events in Atlanta this weekend outside. Well, part of the reason why I picked an event inside, Mike, is because while I looked at the Farmer's Almanac, it's supposed to rain Saturday. So if you all are looking for somewhere,
we're gonna be inside,
right? So
if
you end up not getting down with according to hip hop, but you get rained on, we will still accept you, even though we should be your first choice anyway in these
Come
streets.
inside and get dry real quick.
Yeah. Grab your little libation, grab your little plate. Yeah, yo.
All right, well, we're going to see y'all Friday. Appreciate y'all checking in with us. Great show.
Great show, Mike, man.
Yes,
Good to
sir.
see you.
And cut. Yeah. So we got...